Here we go. So, I was going to ask you guys to recap where you guys were last time, but it's been so long I was worried we'd have a lot of problems with that. So I watched some of the recording, I hopped around, and I've got a bit of the recap.
Let me take a shot.
You want to take a shot? Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
All right.
Where
So
did
we
pick
figured
up
out.
last session?
So we've been infiltrating the town council, kind of like working on tearing them apart. I think it was 2 sessions ago with the fuck, like the Oath Day Market,
Yeah.
showdown. But anyway, a little bit of fallout from that. Not a whole lot, actually. We've both basically been tearing it up in a dungeon. But before we went there, we figured out that one of the guys, can't remember his name, on the town council is very fond of drinking fluids, namely blood, when he can. He doesn't know we know, though.
He doesn't know. That's accurate, yeah.
One of his lackeys is supposed to be in this place, but he may become a fungus-infused super slurper. We haven't found out yet. So yeah, we're here with Bob Elzub and a bunch of his lackeys after we outfitted them. Actually, I can't really remember what happened last time. We spent a lot of time. In this dungeon.
You hit some pieces. You got the beginnings. We did pick up at the end of the beginning of the last session was the end of the Oath Day Market fallout. You and Linton were still having lunch. You were intentionally avoiding the chaos of the market, and just talking about business and stuff like that. Iwen was out at the manor doing her things, and Nero was at the Oath Day Market, and basically, Appian and a bunch of other Glorious Reclamation patrols came, and they flanked around the market as if they were assuming the loyalists were there causing a scene, but when they got there, nothing had happened. They couldn't explain it. In the Hound Archon, it was even explaining, I took a swing at this guy, look at the big cut on this guy, and Nero was just trying to keep out of sight and, basically tending to the wounded, not trying to insert himself into the situation. And then, so you got that. Let's see, what else did you say?
Oh, yeah, What's-Her-Face ran away, so we don't know her whereabouts.
Yes, ran away. That's another good one, yeah. During your lunch with Linton, what do I have here? It says that he admitted to you that he had Rima planted in the prison camp along with the other loyalists, and that Gregor Ordain was embedded with the ones who fled, the ones they're looking for. He asked you to help him find, what happened to him, and he gave you some information of where they had been in the past, but noted that they were moving around a lot, so he doesn't know where they are because they've been missing communications for over a week. You did mention, I made a note say that Vors notices that Linton gets an O face whenever he drinks liquids, and you did check with Nero, and he kind of tranced out, and something stuck into his mind. The gods put a thought into his mind, and he thought this might be a faceless stalker, an Ugathal.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so later that night, Vors, you also met with him at his shot with a growler. You showed up with a growler of ale and basically said, hey, what's up, let's drink. And you drank it fairly quickly and then talked him into going to the Swedish Drop Tavern with you that night, while Iwen kind of snuck around his shop snooping a bit.
That's right.
She didn't find a whole lot. She wasn't very observant, didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. But then she almost bumbled into a glass jar, knocking it over, but was quick enough to catch it, and noticed a jar full of engorged leeches. Let's see.
She also had Plotty touch the blood of said leeches.
Okay. Any specific leech, or they just all of the leeches, or what'd you do?
She just cut one open and took the blood of that one.
Got it. Okay.
And it's just waiting for him to react if he does.
Okay. Understood. I'll make note of that. Okay. Alright, so that was what Vors and Linton were up to. Additionally, kind of in the middle of all that, after the chaos of the Oath Day Market, Zane came to investigate. After everything had calmed down a bit, Appian had sent for him to see what was going on. And one of the merchants did find the urn you had planted. They were packing up to leave the market and said they had no idea what this thing was, and they immediately turned it over, and it was brought to Zane. Zane surprisingly could not figure out what it was. He had no idea, other than the fact that it looked Needlese in origin, just based on the aesthetics of the urn. I forgot who was there. I think, it was Vors. Vors was there, and he says, Nero speaks
Something's
Needlese.
very loud.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Michael.
Who's sitting down?
Lauren is yelling at a dog.
Oh, all right.
Near Michael, supposedly. Yeah, so basically he was embarrassed to not know much about the urn, and Vors was kind of sticking it to him and saying, "Oh, Nero speaks Needlese. Maybe he can tell you something about it." And
I forgot I led the guy to find it.
Yeah, you're basically like, "Hey, this is it. You should talk to Nero about this." And he kind of scoffed and like said, "Oh, perhaps I'll talk to him later." And he continued to look at it as if like looking at it upside down would make him figure out what it was. But he has no idea. He doesn't understand it. But the merchant said, "I have no idea what this is. This isn't mine." So he was fine, giving it away, letting him take it. Another thing of note that happened in the last session was when you were going over with Oppie and what had happened and how could this possibly be, he did note that it was odd that the specific sword tower he mentioned with the supplies was attacked the day after he told Nero about it. He opined that out loud before realizing what he was saying. Iwin also yesterday was just kind of playing up the fear as she was walking back to the Little Uskwood Tavern alone. She was just saying, "Oh my God, this is exactly how it went down in Longacre. We're all gonna get it. Oh my God, they can't protect us." And she was just kind of playing it up, and as she was walking away, and she didn't do a good job pretending. But the people were already so afraid and so concerned with all the stuff going on that she did kind of get their goat, kind of played up their fears a little bit. And people are openly talking about, like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen next? How did they get into the town? Look how orchestrated this was. And Iwin and Vors also did some spying and schmoozing on commoners. They just kind of walked around, and they found out that, unlike in Longacre, the people here are not openly supporting Thrune. Most people are scared, and they don't like these developments. They're just kind of, worried about what's going to happen. They don't want any more trouble. Finally, Nero did some divination, and combined with the notes that Linton gave Vors, you were able to figure out pretty much exactly where the people would be, the loyalists would be. It was an abandoned cave network that used to be a common make-out place for teenagers, but decades ago it was abandoned because there was some weird fungus in there that was killing people. And that's where you guys went. So the next morning, you guys got together, and you decided to pick up the loyalist outside of town, and then go to find the other loyalist in the cave. And it was about a half-day northwest of the town that you had to travel. And you got there with the entire army of loyalists, and the thing you found at the beginning of the cave was two loyalists kind of just standing listlessly at the mouth of the cave with bows and swords. You called to them, but they didn't respond at all. And then as you got closer, I forgot who it was, but one of you noticed that they had a mushroom growing out of their head. Some sort of fungus just growing out of their body. And as you got closer and closer, you guys finally noticed, something's wrong with these guys. These are being controlled, or they're being dominated somehow by these mushrooms. And you started taking them alive. I think you've only killed one if I'm looking around. And all the other ones were knocked unconscious, because Nero, I think, made a good check and realized that these people can be cured with some just healing magic and then being left in the sunlight so the fungus dies out. And that's pretty much where we got to, right? You did that. There were some pit traps involved. You slid down the stairway. There were these bunyips, which are these weird seal-shark combinations. They jumped out of the water and were trying to bite, I believe, Bob El-Zub and drag him into the water, but you guys made pretty quick work of them, one of which is still alive, apparently. And then you guys got into the next room, and there were a couple of wooden barricades, like tables and stuff flipped over, just kind of hastily erected, and there were 2 or 3, whatever they were, the soldiers.
Fungus people.
Yeah.
Mush zombies.
I don't see any corpses. I don't know what I did with them. I'll find them. But
I think we cleared that room, and you're just like, drag them out. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That makes sense. I was like, I don't know where all the corpses are. Okay, yeah. So you guys just
there's only one corpse.
One corpse and several bodies.
Yes.
And that's where we're going to pick up, and we're going to still stay in initiative order. I think Zara has already gone. She basically just charged up and was flanking with the Earth Elemental that Nero had summoned. I believe it was Nero, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she just kind of felled the last one, the last spore-dominated loyalist. And it's unconscious on the ground and stable. So we'll just pick up there, and Iwin, you get to go.
Okay. Wait, we see that the Earth. It's the Earth Elemental. Never mind.
Yeah,
Iwin will just. Well, actually, I think she'll just delay for other people to move forward.
Okay. Bob, what would you do?
You would come off mute.
You're on mute because the dog was loud. Lauren about.
All right, Lauren was loud, not the dog, right?
You didn't
All right. Well, Bobby's gonna come over yonder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna move through Zara,
Yep, you can always move for your friends.
and then I'm going to smack this guy.
No, he's your friend. Nero summoned that guy.
I can't smack him.
You can if you want, but it's Nero's pet.
He's my guy. What are you doing?
Nothing. Getting revenge. All right, then I don't know. I'm just gonna hang out then.
All right. Spore dominated loyalist number 7 is dead, so I'm gonna take it off, or unconscious. So I'm just gonna remove token from initiative. All right. Top of the order, and I forgot something. In the other group, we started listening to music and stuff, and it makes the recordings really awesome. So there's no way to stream it through Google or Skype easily that I know of. So what I'm going to do is the same thing we were doing there, which is basically I'm going to link you to a YouTube video, and you can adjust the video, the audio, and listen to it yourself. So
We can all press play at the same time.
Right, exactly. So you might want to adjust the audio. I don't know, make sure you can hear people, basically. But this is a dark, dank cave.
Is it dank?
It is a dank cave. Explicitly in the title.
How dank?
Fairly dank.
So
Why is this a 3-hour video?
It doesn't matter. It's going to loop until we're done.
Alright, I can't play it on my computer because I don't have my headphones plugged in.
Oh.
It's 3 hours of sounding like you don't have to urinate very much.
Alright,
This is
I'm
the
gonna
kind of
move.
cave you're in. It's very water. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna double move.
And,
because,
I know
yeah.
Bob has light. Who else has light right now? Nero is holding.
Oh,
a torch.
actually, I don't know if I have light. I don't think I do.
It doesn't look like you do based on where the light is right now.
Alright, I'm just gonna single move.
All right. And Nero.
Nero moves
I'm also
forward.
Can I also load my crossbow? And just I can't remember if it's loaded or not.
You have a crossbow?
Like
You use a regular bow,
yeah.
right?
Use
I mean, I can also have a crossbow if I wanted. I'm gonna load it with a like one of the screeching bolts,
Oh, yeah.
just for in case.
Sure. Just for in case. All right. Nero, you moving and that's it?
Nero moves in and he casts tongues.
Okay.
And he says in at the same time he says it in common, but you also hear this sound like gravel rolling. And he says, "Which way? Which way, little one?"
Does he have tremor sense? I don't think he does yet. I think he's a little baby guy.
Maybe, I don't know.
I'll check that. But he will look around and he'll hear that there's rushing water to the northwest, and he probably wants to go that way. There's vibrations that way for sure. So he gestures that way with his body. He kind of just looks that way, like a dog pointing.
Okay. And Nero just nods for him to go that way.
All right, and his speed is what? 20 feet.
20
long.
feet, I think?
Yeah, 20. So, yeah, so he'll just double move this way. Meow. So he goes off almost to the edge of your vision. And he's kind of half in the wall. You watch as he kind of just slides through the stone as if it's nothing. And hangs out half in the wall. That loyalist is also dead. So Zara goes. Her charge comes off. And she's going to, I guess, follow that thing. She looks at you, Bob, and she says, you lead. I'll get your back. And she raises her shield as if she's ready to protect you. I win.
I'll just start moving in the direction of the elemental.
Mhm.
Double move. That's it for me.
Alright. Bob Elzoob.
Hey, I should not be on mute sometimes.
Only sometimes.
Yeah. Or let's go.
Bob is moving up. That's as far as you're going?
I guess I can go further, right? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. You double move into this room, and you see the floor of the northern end of this cavernous space ends abruptly at an open artery of rushing water. Bioluminescent fungus covers the ceiling of this chamber, while smaller patches grow haphazardly on the ground. Rocks the size of halflings, chiseled into crude chairs, sit near the center of the cave. At the southern end of the room, 2 tunnels branch off to the southwest and southeast. So you see these 2 small, squat chairs, and in them, you see 2 mushroom people. And kneeling in front of the water, just looking into it, looking at their own reflection, you see another dominated loyalist. And you double moved, right? Bobby disconnected. I wonder if he's also losing Skype. So yeah.
He did double move.
Yeah, he did double move to get there. So he's done, and the little mushroom people look up at him curiously and don't do anything just yet. We'll see when my brother comes back. Alright, while he's waiting, Vors, it's your turn.
I guess I'm gonna move. You're gonna make me move around the thing.
Around what thing? Yes. Yeah, it is a barricade. If you hit space, it like locks in that position as part of the move. Yeah, there you go.
So there? There's?
Sure, that's a single move.
Can we do knowledge checks on those?
Oh yeah, now that he's
mushroom
moved,
things?
now that he's moved the light over to him, if you can click on yourself and see them, you can make a knowledge check. Yes.
Cool.
Can I do a knowledge check in the middle of my double move?
Yeah. It's
All
free,
right.
just if you know something, basically, yeah.
Alright.
Alright. Vors doesn't know much about these creatures. They're like very strange, weird mushroom things. Nero, let's see, where's your nature? You know very little bit about them. You know they're called myceloids. This shambling fungus creature bears a strong resemblance to a rotund human, but with a mushroom cap for a head. You know that they're some sort of sentient plant, and they have something to do with fungus and some sort of spores, but you don't know a whole lot more. Iwin knows a bit more than you do, though, and she is aware that they have a disease known as purple pox, which can be an inhaled disease, or you can get it if they scratch at you, and it affects your wisdom and your constitution. And if you are affected by the disease and you lose enough of your wisdom, you can actually be dominated by these creatures, like these spores you've seen before, the loyalists. So this is all making a lot of sense now that Iwin's putting the pieces together. Additionally, she is aware that they can also expel like a spore cloud, so it's dangerous to engage them in melee. And Vors, you double moved, and that's all.
Yeah, I would have placed myself in front of Iwin because she's little.
Okay.
Do I know anything about their like disposition, or if are they like aggressive? Do they seek to control everything they see, or like would I expect that they would try to engage us in that way?
Let's see, what does it say about their society and stuff like that? You know that there
And
are.
while you're
Good.
while you're looking, I was going to say what language they speak to.
They don't generally. Oh, they do. They speak a language, but they usually speak it through telepathic communications. They speak Undercommon.
Okay.
And they don't usually have societies or things like that. They're basically just they consume. They eat. They're like plants. You believe that they are evil creatures and that they can taste things like innocence, despair, and hope. Like when they're consuming things, they can taste emotions in what they're consuming. They claim to. All right, so that was Vors, and then the one called Pap goes, and you see him. He's like a rotund kind of fat human guy, but with a big mushroom for a head. And he sits up in his chair. He pats the arm, and you see the spore-dominated loyalist behind him stand up, and she walks forward towards Woozlebob, standing in front of Pap. And where are we? The loyalist is teetering on the brink of death from her fungal affliction. Small drops of blood weep from the broken purple lesions spread across her body. Drool rolls from her quivering lips, and her mouth is filled with dozens of tiny purple mushrooms that tear and bleed as she speaks. And she begins speaking to you in Undercommon. And And Boozlebob, you do not know Undercommon, so to you, she just sounds like, and you have no idea what she's saying to you, but she's saying it rather courteously.
Iwan speaks Undercommon, so if I hear it, I'll know what they're saying.
Yeah, she's talking fairly softly, but you were able to hear some of it, and also you're speaking. You have tongues back there, so yeah, you get a little closer. It's a little far for you at this point, but
Yeah, of course.
Closer.
Just it's a good spell.
It is a great spell. So Ivan, you hear that the loyalist is actually entreating Boozlebob to join them for a meal. It's actually he's being very polite and speaking with something of a drawl, like "Welcome to the cave. Would you sit down and have a meal with us?"
So, Iwan will kind of yell up to Bob El Zub that, like, they're trying to make pleasant with us, but I don't know that we can trust them yet. And she'll also say, like, whatever you do, just kind of remain calm and stoic if you can.
Okay. Bob El Zub remains stoic.
It's Nero's turn for now, though. But yeah, look at that. So the fungal guy doesn't do anything other than like pat the chair down and seemingly he's speaking through this creature in Undercommon.
Nero's just gonna move.
Right. Zara is also just gonna move, and she can only move 20 feet. So maybe she'll just stay in the. She wanted to protect Boozlebob. Was her plan?
The elemental moves too.
Oh,
Forgot.
sure. Where would you like your elemental to go?
Nero just tells him to slide into the floor nearby.
Okay. He's going to be gone next round. You only have 5 rounds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
That's fine. That's fine. Get rid of him.
all right. He just disappears into the floor. Yeah, we'll just delete him. Ah. All right. So he goes off to do something, and Zara's done moving. I win.
Sorry, one more question. Do I believe if the mushroom people were to be slaughtered, that the control would break on whoever they have?
Yes. You think that the actual the domination effect would be broken immediately if the creature controlling it was killed. You believe that.
Okay. All right. So Ivan will step up and, in Undercommon, basically try to compel the mushroom people to let the loyalists go. Like you've controlled them for long enough. They've done your bidding. I think they deserve to go.
The dominated loyalist turns its head to look at you, and as it does, you see cracks in its neck start bleeding more blood. And it says to you, we can't let them go. We need them.
What do you need them for?
And he gestures to a small little myceloid behind him, and he says, the youngins.
I think you're going to need to be more specific.
He laughs, and as he's laughing, you do remember something else about the myceloids. The way they reproduce is by basically inorganic, putting their spores inside organic matter, like meat. So these, in addition to just being dominated right now, eventually when they do die from their disease, they'll spawn baby myceloids.
Would you consider letting them go if we promised you to bring you back some hosts?
Well, that sounds mighty fine. What do you mean by that?
Let's just say that we think in the semi-near future that we're going to be casting out some folks from town, and we can forcibly lead them here.
Make a diplomacy check. See how
Sure.
you influence this path.
She would also try to say, it seems like you're the loyalists are sparse. We can make sure that your stock is significantly larger. I'll do the diplomacy check on that.
Sure. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. So yeah, that combined with the fact that you've promised other hosts, he does seem interested in what you're doing. He says, please join us. And he gestures over to you to sit down next to him. There's other small rocks, nothing like the cool chairs that they have, but they basically are asking you to sit down and have some meal with them. They have some mushrooms that probably aren't poisonous.
I think we're set on meals. We're really good. We're actually in a rush. We need to keep moving through. But again, it's important that you let these people go. We'll be able to pay you back in spades if you're willing to help us out with that.
He nods. He says, "Yeah, well, I guess we could see to that. Yeah."
Okay.
And yeah, so
do they need to be alive?
Do they need to be alive? I think they do. I think the answer is yes to that question. I think they need to die of the disease. So I'm gonna say yeah.
Do they need to be human?
He says no. In fact, and he stops for a moment. And,
Well, I don't speak. So like I don't speak Undercommon. So I guess
I can translate.
I would ask Nero, or I would probably ask Nero. No offense, Iwan.
It's fine. It's not like I've been negotiating well to this point.
I'd be like, hey Nero.
So Nero, do you
ask
butt
if
into
they
the
need to be human.
conversation, Nero, to translate? Yeah.
So they have to be. They have to be alive, but they don't have to be men.
And yeah, that says yeah, and anything will do really. And the mom says, but humans are the best though. You know what happened? You know what happened to the other one? And the dad says, we don't. He just shakes his head like, don't talk about that.
Well, in the meantime, maybe as like a initial offering, we can bring you a bunyip that we recently captured.
The ma'am laughs at that and says, we infected one of them bunyips.
Well, we've got another one, so we can trade you bunyip for loyalists.
2 bunyips are better than 1.
Probably a lot more organic matter in a bunyip than there is in a loyalist.
She nods, but ma'am points to the loyalist talking to you, loyalist 5, and she's also talking through the loyalist the same way with the telepathy, and she says like, this in here's about to die though. Do you really need him? And again, looking at him, she is much frailer than the other one. She is like about to keel over and die.
Hypothetically, if we let you have that one, would you release the rest?
And yeah, she nods, and the pap nods as well.
I would ask her how many she has before you start negotiating.
Sure. I mean, I think that's going to be fine. How many do you guys have?
She says 8.
How many have we got thus far?
7.
So this is the 8th. Okay.
Yes, this is the 8th.
Well, what if we trade you bunyip for this last one?
Ma'am doesn't seem interested in that. She's like, this one's gonna pop soon. And she points to the back. You can see the mushroom heads on the back are getting very large, as if it's gonna hatch, basically. She's like, this one's too close. We can't give this enough.
So, Iron will kind of turn around to Nero, and I'm assuming that Iron would think that they only speak common and undercommon, right? She could speak a different language to Nero and have them not know what it is?
Yeah, they usually don't even speak regular common.
Okay. Well, then she would turn to Nero and sort of suggest, like, hey, do you want to make him less close so they're more interested in the trade?
That's certainly something I could do if I had a moment. Maybe let's find out what happened to Gregor and the rest of them. I haven't seen anyone that looks like him. Give me a second.
Sure.
And Nero basically comes forward, introduces himself, and does a little sort of flourish, and then asks them if they know what happened to the tall, thin one. He would have had a hammer with him.
Okay. While you're doing that, Bob, did you want to do anything else? Because he kind of passed you an initiative. Are you just acting stoically, or what are you doing up there?
Yeah, I'm just standing there, like with, like my hand over my chest and such.
All right. So yeah, Mike, Naz, aka Nero, you walked up and you're basically asking. You specifically asked about the long-armed one, and Mam said, yeah, that one, he died in something. It didn't take. It wasn't right. And the Pap just says, there's something wrong with that one.
So where the hammer, the things he came here with, where is he?
And Mam doesn't know what you're talking about, but Pap says he keeps down there to the south. He points down to the cavern to the southwest over there, and he says he mostly keeps to himself over there in the fungal field.
So when you say he ain't right, does that mean you want us to take care of him?
Mam says, no, please, no. He just needs extra love. And Paps shakes his head and says, that boy ain't right. And they seem to be arguing among themselves for a while. And it's funny because, again, they're both telepathically controlling the loyalist, and the voice changes just slightly as they're arguing with each other. And the loyalist keeps like turning its head and like arguing between them.
So it's like listening to a GM.
Yeah, it's like I'm just talking to myself. It's great. Excellent roleplay.
Can you have your guy here lead us there?
He says it's just down that corridor. He's pointing. Do you really need him?
If only to hold the torch, it'd be nice.
Okay. Sure. So yeah, I'll give him the light source. Yep. Yeah, you just want him to go ahead of you?
Yeah.
Alright. So he gets to there, and you guys can move up to there. Set up however you
So
want.
Nero's sort of looking at her. Is she like, this is definitely a disease, correct?
Oh, the loyalist?
Yeah.
It's definitely a disease, and Iwin did identify her as purple pox. You weren't so sure about what exactly purple pox does, but Iwin does know about what it is. You can make a heal check if you get closer, if you want to get up close to the loyalist.
Sure, yeah. Do you want me to stay in initiative, or?
Yeah, just you can set up wherever you want, and then we'll pick up at the top of the initiative again. And I'm gonna let time.
Okay.
Alright. Damn it, Nero, you're making me step all the way up.
Sorry. I moved.
Alright. Yeah, so you guys get to this room, and you see the pinkish glow of the cavern's fungus dulls to a muted purple in this chamber, which hosts a great fungus farm in its southern half. Flies swarm above a massive pile of compost littered with the rotting corpses of at least 5 humanoids. Of these gaunt cadavers, each of these gaunt cadavers has been split open down the center, exposing hundreds of purple mushrooms growing inside. A subterranean river flows through the cave's east side. And so it continues walking forward a little bit, and gets to about there, and you guys can see in the southern... Yeah, in the southern edge, there's the wrong one, and if you cover over it, you can see that it looks a little different than the other ones. And I'll see if I have a description there for that. Let's say. Yeah, so it's taller than the other ones, and it has this weird, like, almost looks like it's melting all over the place, and it has long, lanky arms. And, let's see, is a writhing mass of living, rubbery flesh in the shape of a vaguely humanoid mushroom. Dozens of crude humanoid faces, each contorted in agony, adorn the mushroom's cap. And, yeah, so it's over there, and it's kind of just, like, wallowing to itself, and 2 of the myceloid youngings are actually, like, poking it with sticks and throwing rocks at it.
Hey! Sorry,
was
my
good
dog.
Oh, I got it.
My dog
Get it,
sees a
dude.
spider.
Kill it!
Alright, so Vors, you see he's on alert. Dude, fuck that spider. Fuck that spider.
The spider's on the ceiling, and he's still gonna try to get him.
So Vors, you see this, and the loyalist kind of walks slowly forward with the torch, and you see these tiny little young myceloids poking and throwing rocks at the wrong one, who's kind of just minding his own business in the corner.
I will knock an arrow and go on delay.
All right. What
No,
would you like to do?
off. Oh my god. I don't know why I bought a hunting breed.
Iwan, cough. Just do a little coughing for me, please.
Okay, she'll play along.
So when Iwan starts coughing, Nero, as we've been walking, has been drawing out a scroll and locating the text on it, and he calls out a word and then reaches out and touches the loyalist.
Mm-hmm.
Stands behind the loyalist and touches her from behind, and everything on her just withers away as he casts Remove Disease.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. So she is no longer affected by the purple pox. She doesn't gain any ability damage back or anything like that, right? It
That's
stops.
Remy.
Well, yeah, she's cured then. Hooray! I'll give her a little alchemy thing because she is cured of purple pox. All right, that's pretty great. And I'm pretty sure the disease. Yeah, so she automatically falls out of the mind control because it only works on diseased things. So as you do that, she immediately just exhales and begins coughing as mushrooms start flying out of her mouth. And it's Zara's turn. So Zara's hanging out with you, and she's mostly looking to Boozle Bob again. She says, I'm with you, whatever you want. And, I need to roll for all these little guys. Alright, the wrong Yeah, sorry?
Would we expect that when the mind control was broken, that the other mushrooms would figure it out? I'm assuming yes, right?
Yes, you would imagine they had a telepathic connection and that they would be able to detect that it was gone. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So Zara.
So Nero starts calling out about how, oh no, it's my fault. I'm blah, 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 you know, just playing up that
Remy,
I did it,
off.
it's my fault.
Guys, I gotta get rid of the spider before my dog
Sure,
jumps through the window.
Sure.
Also, he loves cursors, so he's pointing the cursor now. Like, for real. Alright, I'll be back in a sec, I'm sorry.
Seeing this, the wrong one, who should have already went, I'll just make him go now, though. The wrong one comes up and sees that the loyalist has been tainted with, that the disease is no longer there, and he just kind of yells as like a really deep growl as it's going to lurch forward and try to attack the loyalist. Let's see. We'll see. 1 or 2 is a loyalist, 3 is Nero. See how smart it is. It shows the loyalist. So it walks over, and you can see the long, lanky arms actually reach out and punch the loyalist in the face. And a 19 hits the loyalist for 10 damage, just crushing its skull. It was almost like it was rotting. You can see like it was like hitting a rotting pumpkin. Kind of just caves in immediately, and the thing collapsed. And no baby myceloids come out because it has no diseases.
Oh no, I wasted my scroll.
Sorry, bro. Zara's going, and she's waiting for Bob. She's like, "What's up? What is your command?"
Why is she always waiting on me?
She's protecting you, Iwan.
I can protect myself.
She doesn't know that.
Iwan, I guess we'll ready some magic missiles in case this thing lurches forward towards Nero. So if it moves at all forward, she'll let them go.
All right. Young Myceloid 7 is seeing its big brother attacking something, and it's confused. So let's see how confused it is. It doesn't act this turn. It's confused as to why its big brother is attacking something, because previously it was mocking it and throwing a rock at it. So it continues to do that for a little bit. Well, Bob, it's your turn.
Bob yells at Zara. Well, not yells because the other two are pretty close. We just we strut in here like it ain't nothing.
Yeah.
I can't do what I wanted to do. Yeah, okay, so I guess I'd just get up to here and then tell Zara to come hang.
All right. Zara was on delay, and she will come hang. I guess she can't. She has a double move to get there, but she'll move.
I mean, so I'm really saying get in there.
Yeah, and she doesn't speak Undercommon, so she kind of hisses in Common very quietly. She's like, "What's going on? What is this thing? What happened to the Loyalist?" She wasn't in the room when it got smashed. Fours.
Pop. I don't like it.
Yeah, you're shooting the thing.
Yeah, Vors would totally shoot it. He doesn't like it.
Okay. That's a hit for 12 damage, and it has some DR, so it's only going to take 7 of that, and that second one is a miss. So it takes 7 damage.
Oh my goodness.
And you watch it, it has kind of rubbery skin, so your arrow goes in, but there's a lot of resistance to it. You can.
Alright.
Yeah?
Now that the floodgates are open, I'm coming off delay and launching those missiles if that's cool.
Well, you ready, so it's different. When he moves forward, you'll act. You'll automatically come on. If you wanted to delay, it's different, and there's different reasons for that.
Okay.
But,
yep.
Yeah, he's probably gonna move, so you're probably gonna blast him, actually. Nero.
Nero steps back, and he's doing his best to calm the right myceloids. So he's speaking sort of soothingly in baby talk, and you can hear sort of double talk coming out of him because it's coming out in common, and then you can hear it repeating in undercommon. And he's basically saying, "We don't want to fight. We just came to get our friend's hammer."
Okay. Give me a diplomacy check for your little soothing words. I like the way you're role-playing tongues, by the way. It's cool. The double speak. It's fun. You ace them, and they look at you curiously, and they don't seem to be aggressive, and they repeat a couple of words. You hear, ma'am, pat, ma'am, pat, and they're just looking at you very confused as to what's going on. And also, those weren't spoken out loud. That was just in your head. You heard, like, telepathically in Undercommon. Just, ma'am, pat, ma'am. So the young myceloid is, again, they're staying alone. They're not doing anything weird. This guy, though, is going to move forward, and let's see. Well, there's 3 people in the front. There's Bob, Zara, or I could go for Nero on the side. So let's roll 1d3. He's choosing Nero. Hi, Nero.
Come get him.
So he's gonna lurch forward, which triggers your ready to action, Iwen. So let's see if he dies on his way to get over here. 3 missiles. Okay, 2, 5, and 3, and there's no DR, so that's 10 damage. Boom. Pop, pop, pop. And as he's walking, you see him, and again, he has these faces on his the mushroom top, and they're just writhing in agony, constantly moaning, as he walks over towards Nero. And I guess he didn't have to walk over to do all this stuff, but he walks over to you, Nero, and one of those faces, the one facing closest to you, starts to look like your own face. So he's kind of staring at you with your own face, and it's just like screaming in agony. And you need to make a will save.
Oh, fantastic.
That's not
that ain't good.
Yeah. Sure. So you, I guess it happens on your next turn, it says.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's on your next turn. So yeah, so you are filled with this sense of terrible remorse, and you're watching your own face scream in agony, and you are like, you're disgusted and pitied, and you just, oh, this is really freaking you out. And now it's Zara's turn. Zara sees Nero freaking out, and she's just going to step forward and try to cut at this thing. And that is a miss and a miss, so Zara is terrible. Even with bless.
Bless is up?
Yeah, not enough, but close.
Poop.
Iwen, you actually moved an initiative, so you'd be in front of the wrong one. So
Yep.
Young Myceloid 7 is not going to do anything. Bob.
That's me.
You're Bob.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Alright, so we're gonna come over yonder.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna hit the wrong one.
Go ahead.
Do you want to flank it?
It would get an attack of opportunity on me, wouldn't it?
I didn't see how you walked, but yes, if you walk straight past it, then yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
What are you, a coward?
Yes.
Well, you missed, even with bless. You have a profane bonus on you. What's that about? Is that you smiting? Did you smite something?
He smote something before. He had
Yeah.
smote him
It's
something.
no
I
longer
may
smiting.
have smoten something.
Yeah, it's no longer smiting. Yeah, so that's a miss. So you swing your hammer at it, and you miss. Go back to the top, and it's Vors. There you go. Yeah, so the second one's a hit, and you're within range of point-blank shot. So yeah, that's 13, and it takes 8 of it. So again, it's a rubbery skin is very resistant to the thing. Oh, I forgot. On its turn, it healed 2 hit points. You watch as the
Nice.
wound started sucking up and basically just reforming the skin around it. Nero.
So the dread happens. Do I do anything?
Oh, yeah. So, it says each round you make another save, so I'm not sure if you should have stabbed yourself last time, but basically if you fail your save, you're compelled to hit yourself. You're compelled to hurt yourself. So roll another will save. Yeah, so you made it this time. So let's just say you did it last round when you first felt it, when he got it to you. So let's make you hit yourself once. Roll a d8,
Sure.
please.
Sure.
And then what's your strength? A +2. Why you have decent strength?
Yeah.
Usually your characters
So
are all
6.
wispy. Yeah, so you hit yourself for 6 damage after watching this horrible agony. But on your turn, you actually snap out of it and you can act normally.
Nero says, knock it in the water. Don't kill it.
Kill it?
Don't kill it. Knock it in the water.
Are you taking action or are you just talking?
He's going to take a full defense and move back.
Okay. I win.
From when I did the knowledge check before on these mushroom things, do I think that they'd have any immunity to acid damage?
No, you do not think that.
Okay. Then she's gonna throw some acid at him.
Yeah, an 8 touch attack is a miss. So it jumps out of the way. Boom.
Is a 9 a miss?
Yes.
Worth asking.
It is. I forget the bonuses. It's important. So the wrong one goes, and it's still focused on Nero, and Nero is shielding himself, so let's see what happens with that. But I'm pretty sure he's just gonna... Oh, first off, he heals 2 hit points as his wounds close, and then he's gonna go full attack on Mr. Nero. So he claws at you, and your AC is a 23 without the bonus. Jesus.
My charisma.
Wait, your lore, your charisma AC. Yeah, you're very good at that. Yeah, so that is a miss. He misses you. He slams into both of you, 2 claws into you, but you're raising your shield and clang, clang, and everything's great. Zara goes, and she's going to try to move in for a fight. So she's going to 5-foot step over here and slice at this guy. And that is a hit and a hit. No threats, right? No threats, but 2 hits. For 8 and 7, and his DR is beaten by slashing, so he takes all that. Slice, slice, as the skin just kind of gives way to the slicing weapon. And Bob, Elzub. You're not gonna knock it into the water? What are you doing? You gonna kill it?
Well,
You do what you want, man. You live your life. Play your character.
yeah. Yeah.
That's a hit only because you're flanking for 14. And as you hit it, the skin actually rebounds back. It's rubbery, like I told you with the other thing. So he only takes 9 damage of that, and he's still going. Thors. Yeah, those are both hits for 23 damage, minus 10, so that's 13. And, yeah, the thing collapses, bleeding to death on the ground.
Was that second one a crit?
No.
No, it's an 18.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I could hover.
Need a 20. Need a 20.
I know.
So
I didn't know. I didn't know what my my plus was, or my bonus.
Quick, in the bodies, find the hammer. Elzub, the hammer you're looking for, it's got to be in there. Quick, before he wakes up, get in there.
All right.
Yeah? You gonna go through the stuff?
Yeah.
Make a perception check, buddy, as you're moving through corpses and fungus farm. That is the exact number you needed to find a magic warhammer. So,
Everybody out. Everybody out before he's up.
yeah. You can probably right-click that and hit show handout, I hope, maybe?
What?
I put a, oh, is that invisible? Sorry. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you right-click that and hit show handout? Does that work?
No.
No.
No, I'm on a Mac. I don't even have a
We
right
don't
click,
have
sir.
control. We don't have control of
How
it.
about now?
You gotta. How do you
Yeah.
like that? How about that? Yeah, we can look at the handout now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that is a warhammer.
That's exactly
And
what
I can read you some
Boozled
stuff
Bob.
about it.
Thank you.
This pitch black +1 flaming warhammer is bereft of any ornamentation beyond an engraving on its face of a bull's head with an open flame, the unholy symbol of the archdevil Moloch. Whenever you'll find that out when you swing it. But basically, it's a very simple, just black hammer that is flaming when you pick it up. Like you put it in your hand, and immediately, like it senses you, and it just erupts into flame. What do you want to do with it?
Everybody out.
That's my new friggin' hammer, dude.
Everybody out quick before he wakes up.
All right.
Alright, let's get out of here.
All right. Is everybody leaving, or is anybody hanging out?
We're getting out
I'm
of
getting
here.
the fuck out.
Okay.
There's no other stuff to be had.
He didn't find anything. Are you? Is anybody else tossing the fungus? No.
Nero will look for just a second and then he books it out of there.
All right. Give me a search. Whatever. Perception check.
Yeah. Vors would too.
Sure.
I need to click myself. It's the best game ever. Oof.
Nero, you do find something else among the corpses. Most of it's just mundane gear that you'd assume, like, basically dead loyalists with dead loyalist gear. Some of it was destroyed by the fungus as well. But among all those stuff, you do find a half-finished note addressed to Linton. It's not signed, but it's basically detailing the stages of the disease that have been affected the loyalists, and it appears as though it was being sent to Linton.
Okay. So I will pocket that and let's hightail it out of here.
All right. As you pass Mam and Pap, they're sad to see that their friend is gone. But Pap actually reaches out and just talks to you directly, telepathically, Nero, and he says, "I'm eager to expand my family. So anytime you can bring whoever you're talking about, bring those prisoners you're talking about. Like, just let me know. Come as soon as you can."
All right. Sorry we had to rough up your boy a little bit. He got a little wild, but he should be fine. He looked like he was closing up real nice.
And Mam says in her head, like, "I hope you didn't hurt him too bad." And Pap just says again, "That boy ain't right." Yeah, they're arguing in your head. And that's it. Anybody else doing anything, or? Okie dokie. So you guys are going to leave the caves, and what's your plan now? I'm just going to kind of cut you over to here with all your allies and stuff.
There was nothing up this way?
There were more myceloids there.
Okay.
Move you there.
And down this way we didn't check? But no more loyalists.
Yeah. Down there are corpses. And basically, this looks like an encampment. Like, you can see, like, there was fires and little beds and stuff like that. And it looks like this is probably where the loyalists were sleeping before they got taken over by the myceloids.
Okay.
Is there anything there? You toss it really quick. Give me a perception check.
Sure do.
Nero, yeah, you do find. So you're going through just quickly tossing the stuff. Again, it's mostly mundane items that were abandoned by the loyalist here. But there is a fine set of armor, rosewood armor, in fact, that is next to one of the things. It's very carefully rolled up.
What is rosewood armor? I don't even know. So look it up.
Knows what Rose's armor is.
Just look at Vors. That's what he's wearing.
It's armor that has to be watered, and it has like spikes on it, spines and stuff.
Okay.
And as you pick it up, you notice that... Okay.
I was just gonna say it's light armor, AC 2.
Okay.
Max Dex 6.
Okay.
In addition to just being magical armor, it has it's a +1 suit of armor, and it also has the
it's magical?
Yeah, it's magical. So it's +1 better than the one you're wearing.
Yeah, it's totally better.
The only problem is it has the family crest of House Narcopolis on it, which is not smart to wear around town just yet. So, figure out what you want to do with it. And that's all you guys find, just doing a quick toss of the place.
I'll wear it under my noble outfit. Is that how that works?
I kind of doubt it, but...
I don't believe that's how noble outfits work. But, okay, yeah, so you guys scan the whole place. And the plan is now to take all the unconscious loyalists home with you?
Yeah, get them in the sun.
Okay. Are you going to hang out here for a while, or... Again, the town is like half a day away, so are you heading home immediately, or are you dragging the undead... I mean, not the undead. Are you dragging the dominated people with you? What's the plan?
We can't bring him back to town.
That's true.
We need to bring him back to the camp.
So Bob, can you keep them? Can you get them in good form? I think we'll have a bit of bargaining power with our friend Linton these days.
Sure.
Yeah, Zara says she can't do much to help them other than see that they rest. She'll do her best.
Rest them up, keep them in the sun. I'll apply some poultices, do some things before I leave. I've got one more scroll left that might help the worst of them.
Bob Elzub asked if you've ever tried to sleep in the sun, sir.
Well, they're sleeping in the sun because you hit them on the head, so I think they'll sleep just fine.
Fair enough.
I think I'm going to get something that'll make it so you're going to be able to be in town and not maybe make everyone uneasy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Bob. Remember, you weren't you weren't very well known in town. You kind of showed up after the rebellion had already taken place, and then you got picked up because you were kind of loose with your lips. And speaking about, Thrune is great. So not a lot of people in town actually know who you are. I mean, it is dangerous for you to be in town. Like, Oppian and the people that locked you up probably do know who you are. But with some minor disguising or just like throwing on a scarf or something, you can probably get by in town just fine.
All right.
Get a hood on you.
Yeah.
Give me a scarf.
Just steer clear of the Hound Archons.
Yeah, you are super evil. Everybody else is like a little bit evil on the radar. You are like big red sirens going off evil.
Is there any kind of cloak that I can put on to hide that?
The angel skin that you
soon.
Yeah,
he's working on it.
The monk. Did you guys send that away somewhere, or did you just not decide where to put it?
Not yet.
No.
We planted a small piece of it in Zane's but besides that we still have the rest.
Do you think, Bors, you seem to have a rapport with Linton. As we're walking back, Nero's says to Vors, you seem to have a pretty good rapport with Linton. Do you think, with the knowledge of what happened to his friend and knowing that we put things right, that maybe he'd cure some leather for us?
Can alchemists do that?
Yeah, Nero does believe that Linton can do that. He hasn't admitted to that, but he thinks that he could chemically prepare the leather to be used in leatherworking, yeah.
It's possible. I just don't know whether we want to show our hand. I trust that Linton doesn't necessarily agree with the current government, but I'm not sure how much past that we can trust him. He hasn't given any indication that he's here for any other reason besides serving himself. So.
We'll have to look into it. In the meantime, Bob, keep a low profile. We're going to keep you at the inn for a little bit. Maybe wear a hood when you're out in public.
Bob sighs and says, "Okay." It's more of a long, drawn-out fine, though.
Fine.
We'll take it.
Did I lose Nero somewhere? Oh, no, he's there. He's there. Yeah, there's only 4 of you. That's right. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just cut everybody. And you guys are...
That was a lot different than I thought it was going to be.
You guys, you're going back to Little Uskwood is the plan? You're going to drop off the rebels at their camp?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or leave the rebels deeper in the forest to camp. But yeah.
Sure.
So I've got some scrolls of Lesser Resto.
Mm-hmm.
If you want me to just burn them and you just heal up the weaker guys that are.
Yeah, if you want to. They all have various damages to their Constitution and Wisdom, which is what the purple pox disease affects.
Okay.
So all
Nero
of them
will
are damaged pretty badly.
So Nero will look them all over, pick the worst ones.
Mm-hmm.
He applies healing stuff to them as best he can at the camp, and drops the Lesser Restos and drops a Cure Disease on probably the weakest of them.
Okay. Sure.
So we'll use some Lesser Resto.
Sure. Is that just like 1d4s, or what is that? Alright. Sure.
1d4.
Where's Skarta?
Oh my god, where's Skarta?
The Skarta carrying my water animal.
Oh man, where is Skarta?
Where is the water animal?
Oh god.
The Bunyip's there.
Thank God.
I see Skarta.
He's in the middle of all the loyalists.
There's another loyalist, and Brexter, Houndy, and Plotty were also on the other map still.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there's the bunyip.
Oops, I did that because I'm the best. Alright, Skarta, go back in your stable. And there's another loyalist. And Houndy, Plotty, and Brexter will hang out over there. Alright. So yeah, so you drop Lesser Resto, and yeah. I'll add some notes to them to do that later. But yeah, you do heal them, and just hanging out and resting for a little bit, they do heal naturally as well. But the 4 people you were actually treated, they do seem like they're actually bouncing back. The 3 that remain untreated, they are not doing as well, but just sitting in the sun is slowly making them better. So you do know what you're doing, and you do seem to be making. You are saving these people.
Can we pour bleach on them?
I mean, you could. You have any bleach?
I'm sure we can find one from our alchemist friend.
They are in. He's in town.
Okay, well, fine. Let's go get him.
All right. So Boozle Bob or Bob Elzoob, you're throwing on a hood and you're going into town now.
No.
No. Where are you going? Where are you staying?
I was specifically told not to go into town, so I'm going to sit here and watch my loyalists.
Okay, so you're staying. You're staying in the camp with the.
No.
Okay, you're not going to come.
No!
Do you want to come or not, Michael Mosky?
Bad, Michael. Bad.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I gotta go tend to the bunyip.
Okay, you're gonna go tend to the bunyip, whatever that means. All right. Everybody else, if you're heading back, so it takes you again half a day to get back to town. So you got there just before dawn, I believe, is when you got there. So you did your stuff, spent a couple hours in the cave talking and all that stuff, and then you head back. And we're just gonna say it's pretty much the next day. It's like you travel through the forest, you stop at the thing, and it's almost the next morning. And you guys get to the Little Uskwood. And Loredana is there, and she has prepared breakfast, but it's gone cold. So there's cold breakfast laying around.
I eat some.
It's good, despite being cold.
Vor's the Rosewood. I have an idea.
Okay.
If we were to, say, bring found what's happened to the rest of the loyalists, could only help our cause.
Wait, to the loyalists?
So the Loyalists died to some fungal creature out in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we found of them.
Oh, so you're saying that? Well, I mean, do we? I'm not sure we want to play that angle because it'll make the Loyalists seem weaker, and that they aren't necessarily posing like some sort of threat to the town. Like right now, I think it's in our best interest to keep the townsfolk believing that they're more than capable of just taking down a tower full of metaphysical mess, and that some sort of like attack or.
And I meant more the Loyalists they knew were out in the forest, but not the fugitives from the camp. But it's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Well, for now, let's keep it under wraps, and we'll go from there, I guess.
Okay. So while you guys are eating, Loredana does come in from the other room, and she addresses you, Nero, and says that someone came looking for you here at the inn.
Who?
She says Calcyra the Just is back in town, and she's looking specifically for you and your friends.
Who's Calcyra the Just?
She was mentioned briefly during the first town council meeting. She was up in the mining towns in the north, talking to dwarven clans trying to secure trade deals. And the rumor has it is that she was basically coming back with a supply of ore, and she heard what had happened. That she had received news from a runner that the town was attacked or something like that, and she sped ahead of the caravan to come back. And after talking with Appian last night, she's specifically interested in talking to you guys.
Okay.
She says if you need to find her, she'll probably be at the Temple of Torag in town.
Torag, I can deal with that.
And that was previously an Asmodean temple that was reconsecrated by her to Torag, the father of creation.
Sure.
Dwarf god.
Sure. Dwarf god. Is she a dwarf?
She's a dwarf.
All right, dig it.
Yeah, what else you guys want to do? It's morning in town. Let me turn off this fungus noise music.
Do you have morning in town music?
I have town music. I'll just hit it. I don't know. I was doing this very late. I really should have spent more time trying this. But there is music in town. Town Square daytime. Alright. Yeah, so Loredana is here, and she's just informed you that someone is looking for you. Calcyra the Just is looking for you.
Is she a paladin?
You do not know. You haven't met her. And
all right, I asked Loredana, is she a paladin?
She says she's a holy warrior, but I don't believe she's officially a paladin in the Church of Torag, no.
Okay, thank you.
Let's get into town. I'll talk to this holy warrior, and we'll go from there. We need to really plant the seed that the wizard is in on this. So let's give me some support. We'll convince Appian that that's what's going on. We'll get licensed to search the house today and find what we need to find.
Nero, I think it'd be best to, if I weren't there, I'm guessing, I'm gonna go chat with Linton.
Fine.
And hit up the docks. You guys need anything?
Keep the rumors moving. Keep information moving. Keep rumors moving.
Is there anything you want me to pick up at the docks that might be able to help our cause?
I think we've got enough to outfit everyone. I think we're all right for now. I think what best we can do is build some goodwill for ourselves.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna wait to talk to Linton. I'd like to have you there, I think.
So you're all gonna go together then? You're all gonna go. What are you gonna do first? You're gonna go to the Temple of Torag to talk to Calcira?
When do they pray? When do they pray for Toreg? Probably the morning?
I'm gonna say morning, yeah.
Sure, then yeah, I'll go for after morning prayers. Or I'll go, like, to get there for morning prayers if I can. The tail end of morning prayers or something like that.
Okay. And is everybody going into the temple, or you're gonna hang out outside, Vors, or what are you gonna do while... What's going on?
How close is Abadar to Torag?
Alignment-wise?
I guess.
Pretty close. I think Abadar is he lawful good or lawful neutral? I think he's lawful
He's
good.
lawful neutral.
He's lawful- no,
Torag
he's
is lawful
definitely-
good, and Abadar is lawful neutral.
Okay. Oh, I fucked up my character then. Never mind.
What? Why?
I'm definitely not lawful.
Oh, well, if you're not actually a cleric either, it's fine. We can talk about how that
Oh.
works. But yeah,
Okay.
like if you're not a cleric, your alignment doesn't matter as much. If you're not like an actual holy kind of person.
Oh, okay, cool.
But Torag is a stoic and serious god who values honor, planning, and well-made steel. He is often a distant deity, lending magical power to his clerics, but leaving his followers to make their own way through life, knowing this will make them strong and determined. Alright, so you guys are heading to the temple. I'm going to take you 3. And even if you're not going inside, I'm going to take you there. What are you doing, Alwyn, while this is happening?
What?
What are you doing? Are you coming with them to this place?
Yeah, I think she would. Sure.
Alright. I'm just going to turn on daytime vision because this night stuff is going to be... Alright. Alright, so you guys approach the Church of Torag, and I have different music for this. Huzzah. Right? There's Temple of Torag music.
Ooh.
Temple or Torag, look at me. Good typos. Alright. So you approach the Temple of Torag. And Nero, as I said before, you do know that this used to be an Asmodean temple, and you can tell in the architecture that it very much has the bones of an Asmodean temple, but all of the decorative things and all of like the flails and not flails, what's the word? Like flags or whatever they're called. All the banners in the temple have been replaced. But you approach the doors, and they are closed but not locked, as you'd expect.
Do you guys want to come in? Do you want to wait outside?
I would go in.
Vorzel's Vorzel. How far is that from the Swedish drop?
I can bring up the map. Okay, sorry, real quick. Swedish drop is there, and the Temple of Torag is... I have no idea what number it is on the thing. It's decently far, though. It's not the other side of town.
Oh.
It's decently far, though.
Alright, never mind. I'll just hang around outside.
Alright. So, Iwan and Nero, you walk inside. And in the first room, tending to just bowls of water and things, like basically to ceremoniously cleanse yourself before entering the temple, there is a little temple acolyte kind of just tending to the things, cleaning things up.
Okay.
And she turns to you and just bows silently.
Nero bows and says the appropriate Dwarven phrase for Torag, being that he studied Torag.
Oh, there you go.
And he'll do the appropriate thing with the washing.
Okay, cool.
And he sort of gestures to Iwan to do the same.
She would.
Okay, so you're cleansing yourself in Torag's holy waters. And are you going to go into the next room?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of statues around, and some of them, like you can tell, like it was a demonic statue or a devil statue that was knocked down. And there's another one where there's a small, stout dwarf over there on the left. It seems like they're slowly, converting the temple. They're not totally done with it yet. You walk inside the main area of the temple, and you see Torag's holy symbol is kind of been haphazardly painted on the bottom. Imagine the sun underneath it was like a pentagram previously for the devils. And it was kind of carved into the ground, and they haven't fully repaired it yet. But they've painted the Torag's hammer above it. And in the room, you see there's several acolytes milling about, and also Calcira the Just is in the middle, and you can kind of hover over her if you want to see her picture.
She's angry.
Yeah. And among her, she has 3 foo dogs behind her. These big, like, stone-looking, curly-haired dogs are just moving around behind her. Let's see if I have a description of Calcira for you.
Dogs.
Foo dogs, right? She's a red-haired firebrand of a dwarf, responsible for reconsecrating this temple to the Shrine of the Hammer. Let's see, what else can you say about her? Doesn't have any other descriptions other than that. That's sad. Anyway, so she's short and stout. She's got a big stone hammer, holy symbol, hanging around her neck. And when she sees you guys enter, she looks up immediately, and she stares at you just like with cold, steely eyes. And she says, "Welcome. What brings you to the Shrine of the Hammer?"
That you're Kelsira, I assume?
She nods, says, "Yes, and you?"
That would be you that brought me here. Nero, of House Nero.
And her eyes go wide. Of course. She had never seen you before, so she didn't know who you were.
Sure.
And she says, "Yeah, I was hoping to talk to you. Appian tells me much about you, and I've heard so much around town."
Nero does the appropriate sort of genuflect for the Torag thing, and says, "Well, here I am."
And this is in sincerity you did the Torag thing.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Then yeah. So she responds with also the appropriate bow, like she's paying respects back to you, and she's very happy that you are respecting the faith here in the temple. So she said, "I had many questions about. I heard you were from Longacre. I heard you were there when it fell. What can you tell me about your time there? What did you do during the troubles?"
It was there was a lot of chaos when the town fell. Just, some people supported Thrune, some people supported the rebellion, and eventually the people chose order over freedom.
Okay. And she nods and says, "That's a choice many people end up making." And she nods, and she says, "What about this Angel Knight? I've only heard the stories. People said that you've seen her, you've met her."
I saw her. If you'd believe it, she was one of those beggars, the ones that shred their face. She wore the mask to hide her face. When the townsfolk saw what her face was, the rebellion crumbled.
And so she again she's nodding. She's like, it's tragic that. And she looks over to Iwan, and you were there too. I believe I've heard stories of you. If you're the gnome that's been mentioned.
It's probably me. I haven't seen many other gnomes around these parts.
She smirks and says that's true. Also, not too many dwarves.
So she'll say, I just would reiterate what Nero said. I don't know that we can really confirm or deny either way, but we've heard a lot that about the Angel Knight being unmasked, and we were sort of coming to a different town to see if perhaps there'd be a different fate.
Okay. Kelsira looks at you, and she actually tilts her head a bit and raises an eyebrow, and says, "What can you tell me about how did you get out? How did you escape when the Thrunes gained control of the town? How did you guys escape? How did you get out?"
We just left. They didn't have the town. Once the rebellion was crushed, they didn't lock down the town. We were allowed to leave.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was really chaotic. There wasn't any order as we left, and so it's not like we really had to report to anybody or that anybody was trying to stop us.
She nods, and she turns specifically to Iwan, and she said, "Why did you choose Cantaria? Why did you choose to come here?"
Well, we had heard that that success had started to happen here, basically. So we wanted to come, see that firsthand.
And she looks again. She's looking at you very specifically. She's almost ignoring Nero, and she says, "But you're obviously not a follower of the Inheritor. So why choose here?"
I mean, curiosity, mostly.
And she lingers on you for a moment, not saying anything, and then looks back at Nero.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I came here because I wanted to see what the rebellion looks like. I gotta tell you, It doesn't look good.
She's curious. What do you mean?
What I mean is a regiment of mounted knights would ride the city down today. If it wasn't for the other city where they're sending all their knights, this city would be ground to the floor in a day.
She nods and she says, I think we put up some of a fight, but from what I've heard from the strategy discussions you've had with Appian, I tend to agree.
So you got back. So you were up in the north getting ore, right?
She nods. Yes, the Melendor Mountains.
Okay. And do I know where those are? Are those way off?
You can make a knowledge check. It's not way off. It's maybe like a week away. And okay. I think over a week ago, it was announced that she was up there. She had secured the deal.
I'd be surprised if you can keep that deal.
If you can keep that deal, you said?
Yeah.
Well, she
not
said,
meaning no offense, meaning nothing against you or your negotiating.
Okay, yeah, she was a little incensed until you added that. I assured you that I've secured a trade deal with with the dwarven tribes of these specific areas of the mountain, and I plan to make more. Why do you think they won't trade with us?
I think they'll trade with you. I think that once, like I said, if they can run a mounted troops, they could blockade this town with ships. Once it's blockaded, you're not getting anything in or out.
Yeah, she nods and she says, "The trade does not concern me. We have a grand vision." So she looks at Iwin again because Nero's done a bunch of talking, and she's very curious. She's like, so what did you do in Longacre? Like, why were you there? What was your profession?
It wasn't really so much a profession. Like I said, I've been curious. So I went there. I'm a woman of magic, and I went there to just generally learn more about the craft. That's all. But then all this stuff started quickly happening, and that kind of got lost, and really just was a lot of like figuring out who was who and what the hell was going on for most of the time.
Iwin.
I don't know that we ever truly got there.
Nero interrupts abruptly. Iwin, let's not sell yourself short. You took care of those people. The people at the home, the elderly veterans on the side of Iamade and on the side of Cheliac and on the side of Asmodeus. You took really good care of those people. You really took care of those elderly people.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was the least I could do, given all the chaos, was to, bring a little bit of peace to the town.
And Nero starts sort of selling Iwin's praises about like how she was there every day, and she was there early in the morning until the afternoon. She was listening to their stories. She was learning from these retired ancient battle mages what they might be able to teach her to help her own practice and this and that. And he's sort of selling Iwin to her.
Okay.
So Iwin will kind of just be like trying to act
attention away from Iwin. He's trying to sort of hedge her out of the conversation,
yeah.
Like have her be a set piece.
Yeah, and so she'll try to like, fake humility and like awkwardness, like trying to like take the praise but being awkward about it, like not like looking and kind of just be, trying to get him to move past it as if she doesn't want the praise, but clearly acknowledging it.
But do you do want the praise? Like, do you? How do you genuinely
I think she wants
feel?
to. I think she genuinely. She wants the dwarf to think that she was really genuine. So she's like trying to be she's trying to show that she's humble about it.
Okay, but you are right. You're not lying. You are humble about it. You want her to know, but you feel like he's being a bit of a braggart right now. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not
there's
lying to her.
not entirely, no.
Okay. So both of you give me a diplomacy check and a sense motive check. And
sure.
Iwin's is going to help Nero's is. Nero rose very well, and Iwan rose very well as well. So yeah, so there, you're doing a very good job pitch manning, and everything you said is completely correct and very much makes you look very good. Yeah. Nero, you watch as she listens to you. Her large dwarven nose, the nostrils flare as you're answering questions.
Well, what about you? How did you end up in Cantaria? You always been here?
She shakes her head and says, "No, I'm from the mountains myself." And she says, there's no official churches out there, but I wander among the stones. And she said, when the Glorious Reclamation set out their call, and they said that Cantaria was the beacon for their new Cheliacs, I came to serve. Although I don't worship the Inheritor, I share their vision.
Interesting.
So what do you perceive their vision to be? What is it that you share with them?
A vision of a Cheliax free from hell.
Sounds bloody.
She smirks and says, "Probably."
But it's not people like you and I that get ground under by the war machine. It's people like them.
She nods and says, I do plan to be on the front of those battles as they come, but you are correct. Many die for ideals, for these goals. But what's the alternative? To let the taints of hell infest this land forever?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that there's a good answer. I don't know that. I sort of believe that there's a lot of good to be learned from many facets of life. I was an Asmodean acolyte in my early days. My father is a minor noble. They tried to find me something, but I didn't take to the teaching. But there's a lot of good people still in that church.
No, she seems surprised by the fact that you say that there was good people in the church. She says, I haven't met too many good priests of Asmodean. Asmodeus, sorry. But,
when we came up, it's a very cutthroat. They sort of encourage you to hurt each other, to find ways to grind each other down in the acolyte training, and I was really proud of what our class did. Rather than grind each other down, we use the law to lift each other up. Something I've always respected about Toreg, and he quotes some obscure passage about order out of chaos, and says it's something I've always admired about the different faiths of law.
Yeah, and she's nodding along the whole time, and as you're reciting the words, because you rolled a good enough knowledge check, you know enough holy text to quote some stuff. She's very impressed, and she completely agrees with you that law is the most important thing. She's a lawful good person, so she doesn't agree with a lot of the things you've said, but she does seem to think that you are committed to law, that you do believe the things you're saying, and she seems to respect you for that. And all the while, these food dogs are just kind of moving around behind her, not angrily or anything like that. They're just kind of just being dogs.
Are they dogs? Are they stone? What are they?
They're like dogs that have very rough skin, so they're not made of stone, but they have resilient skin as if it was made of stone.
What are those?
And she says, "My pets from the mountains."
Are they pets or are they pets?
She smirks and says, "Pets," and she gestures the same way you did. They travel with me, and they help guard sacred spaces.
Interesting. What happened to all the statuaries? I assume that they removed the statues of the demons. I hope they didn't smash them.
She admits that some of them were destroyed, and you did notice that some of them were there, like they look like existing statues that were just the legs and stuff like that.
Sure.
And they said some of them were taken to the top floor for storage, but many were destroyed after the revolution. Despite it being fairly over fairly quickly, a lot of the Iomedain faithful just they wanted to let off some steam, like they
boils over.
Yeah, the temple was one of the first places to be ransacked.
It's unfortunate. Not necessarily a change in faith is an unfortunate thing. More that I don't know that wiping out history seems to be the current regime's way of doing things. I don't know that we need to wipe out our history.
She's interested in that. That's an intriguing statement. She says, we are building something new here, but perhaps you're right. You know, we cannot forget who we are.
One of the few things I thought they did that really wise in Longacre before they left, there was a lot of sort of oppression and bad things going on. One of the smart things I thought they did was that, believe it or not, the church to Asmodeus there is a church to the God Claw. It's being tended by a priest of Abadar as we speak.
And you're not openly displaying your God Claw stuff, right? That's on the DL? Okay.
No.
And she seems very interested in that as well, because she's the God Claw. I heard they lost their citadel. I thought they were disbanded.
As far as I know, they're scattered to the wind. But from what I understand, rather than take a hard stance and just crush out everyone that was there that happened to believe in the Inheritor, I think they sort of took a more enlightened view of things.
She nods and says, "Interesting. I wouldn't have thought it. And you would all know that Asmodeus is the official religion of the Empire, and other gods are allowed to be worshipped, but only by his approval, only because he allows it."
Right.
So Iwan will sort of speak up and say, I have to agree with Nero. It seems as though a combination tends to be the best for maintaining law. The more that you can manage to incorporate people for who they are, the better things are. And I don't know, maybe if that's been a source of friction here.
And she shakes her head and says, we try to accept everyone as they are. But some people just don't see eye to eye with us. They don't believe that the town should be ruled the way we believe it should be ruled. Some people, the old ways die too hard for them. They enjoy their positions of privilege too much.
That Hell Knight is some bad business. That's going to come back.
And she says that was not my decision. And
no, I understand. It's just that's bad for business. They don't forgive. They don't forget.
Yeah, she nods and says, "I do understand that, and it's too bad. We were the Hell Knights are a source of strength here, and they're not strictly aligned with Thrune. So it would have been nice to keep them on our side, but Oppian did what he did."
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I've got a few things to tend to in town, but I'd love to get together and talk some more. If you've got time in the upcoming days.
She nods and says, "Yeah, of course." And she does say, "I was also interested in talking to your other ally, Vors, was it?"
Yeah, a bit of a, how do I put this? A bit of a hound, if you get my drift.
She raises an eyebrow and says, "Oh."
Let's say that he spends a lot of time at the sweetest drop lately, if you get my drift.
She nods and says, "Many in town do."
But his bow he's amazing with that bow. He saved my life more than once.
And she says, "I look forward to hearing that story." Right. Anything else you guys want to do with the Temple of Torag?
No.
All right. I'll take you away. So you're going to walk out, and Vors is kind of milling about outside. You want to do or say anything, Vors?
I'm going to head to the docks.
All right.
If there's nothing to talk about.
You guys want to...
There's something off about her. The less we all talk about Longacre around her, the better. Did you see the way she sniffed every time you spoke, Iwan?
You didn't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But she'll try to pretend a little. She'll be like, well, I don't know. Maybe once in a while, I guess. By body language isn't really my thing all the time.
Look for it next time.
I will.
Something there's something going on there. She knows something.
I guess I'll take it to the...
So we would probably also relate to Vor's, like how we, like what the fact. Well, maybe not right in front of the temple, but as we're sort of walking away, relay to him what we conveyed about what happened in Longacre, so that he knows.
Yeah, just get your story straight, basically.
Yeah.
All right.
I portrayed you as a bit of a interested in the ladies and the good life.
I think he portrayed you as you are. Just be as you are.
I was going to say that's not true.
Exactly. I think maybe stick to that when she wants to talk about big philosophical issues. I would stick to your books.
Are you saying that I should hit on her?
No. What I'm saying is, if you're cornered and have to talk to her, I don't want you to talk about those sort of things.
I mean, I've never been with a dwarf before.
Fair enough.
All right. New music up. Docks. It's docks
man.
at nights, but it's good. It's good. Good dock music. So is everybody going with Vors? I think he said he wanted Nero there. Yeah.
No. I wanted Nero when I go to talk to Linton.
Okay.
I don't care if Nero's there when I go to pick up a couple hits. So.
Okay. So does anybody want to go with the docks with them? You're all going to go, or?
Do you care if Iwan's there?
No, I don't care.
Okay, then she'll join.
So Nero will do the milling this time. You two go in, and Nero will mill.
Sure. Yeah. So you show up, and the dock workers at this point know you. So as you begin coming up, they summon Jonas Reichman. His name is Jonas.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes up and he opens the portcullis and he lets you in, and he takes you into his little side office. So all of you kind of cram in there. We don't have to keep you. But he says, Vors, Mr. Vors, what can I do for you?
Yeah, Jonas, have by any chance have you seen any Felwill come through?
Is that a drug I should know about, or is that a code?
It's no, it's actually like FELWIL. I can. It's under. I couldn't find it on Peso.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really just looks like a purely recreational drug. It doesn't have any I can't find anything about addiction. It just says drug induces euphoria, but can also lead to nausea.
Sure. Felwill, yeah. Created by gnomes in the town of capital. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna roll a random thing and see how well he does for that. No, he says I don't have any of that, but he's got some more common stuff. He's got flyleaf.
Wait, flayleaf?
Flyleaf. Is that flayleaf? Or is it flayleaf? I thought it was flyleaf. Yes, it is flayleaf. Okay. Let's see. Flayleaf. How much is that? Is that not a common one? I thought it was a common one.
Cost varies across regions, with a full pouch of it going for around 12 gold pieces.
Yeah.
And
Flayleaf.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently it's not. Yeah, I thought it was flyleaf, but it's flayleaf. All right.
Okay. What else do you have? Anything?
He says.
So Iwan will be like, let me translate. I suspect my Vors wants something that will, how do you say, loosen you up a bit.
Oh.
No, I mean, flayleaf will definitely do that. It also causes the user to become very susceptible to suggestion.
Okay.
The user is immune to pain for up to 4 hours.
Well, Iwan wouldn't know any of that, so she would assume that it didn't meet the bill. But you could explain that to her.
Yeah, I'd be like, I would like that might be fine. I would like to take stock of his of what he has.
Fair enough. Don't let me get in the way of that.
Yeah. So he says he's got some flayleaf. There's always keef around. Also,
What's that?
Keef. It's also called pesh in Galarian, but the non-specific name is keef. It's like a poisonous cactus that you get to drink the milk of.
Yep.
Or smoke it, however it turns into. You got that. And he says, we're expecting some alcohol to come in too, and I'm hoping a couple of boxes fall off.
Anything in particular? Like what sort of spirits?
He says there's some ale from the dwarves up north, and supposedly they have, from north of that in Nadal, they have some hard, like vodka type drink, basically, a vodka type alcohol. And
Okay.
it's supposed to come in with the shipment as well.
Why aren't you working?
Is that something that we think that dwarf priestess lady would like or know about, or like?
She may have ordered it, and if it falls off of a boat, then we probably shouldn't be involved.
Yeah.
You would think that dwarves do drink that, and there aren't a whole lot of dwarves in town. There's like maybe a dozen or two dwarves in town.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a little bit of flay leaf. Why isn't Peso loading or anything?
Sometimes the sites go down. Usually it's on Sundays though. For, like Thursday nights, probably not. Oh yeah, you want to buy some flay leaf?
Yep. I'll do that.
Yeah. He'll sell it to you at market price. You don't have like a special deal with him, really. He already got you those weapons. I'm not even sure you paid him. I think you didn't front the money. He's just giving you the weapons.
Oh, I thought we were hand waving that.
Okay.
We were gonna try to extract it from Fax.
Yeah, I mean we fronted it, and
That's
then
right.
we fronted it, and then we're gonna.
Nero has 1,500 gold. We definitely paid him something for
Okay.
it. So
Understood. Yeah. I'll be looking at the follow up on the quick video, but you definitely paid him. Okay, cool. So yeah, so he's basically he'll sell you drugs at cost, basically.
Okay. That's pretty good. So yeah, I'll take some flay leaf and what was the other one? The pesh.
Yeah. Keef, whatever it is. Yeah.
Keef, yeah. I guess let's look at that. Keef.
It's 10 gold for the flay leaf and 15 gold for a dose of keef.
I'll take 4 doses of flay leaf.
Okay. That's 4 gold.
And sorry, how much for the keef?
15 gold a use.
Nice. Sorcerer's Leaf. Oh. I'm going to tell Iwan that she might be interested in the keef. Yeah, I'll take like it's 15. I'll take 4 of those.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, so he has all that on hand and he produces it for you. Pleasure doing business with you.
Thanks, Jonas.
He looks to the other two people with you, like, anything I can do for you?
Not at the moment, but I'd be back if so.
Actually, Jonas, like, is besides consumables, anything else of note that may become available?
He says, I haven't seen too many manifests come in recently, like other than that alcohol boat coming in soon. I'm not expecting too much more.
Okay.
The market was also just yesterday, too. That's when they usually show up.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me know if you hear of anything that might be interesting.
He winks and says, "Will do."
Okay.
Anything else you guys want to do with the docks?
hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Nero is not there, so he's not asking.
Yeah.
You're cutting out.
Yeah.
Expecting a shipment of ore? What's happening?
They are not expecting a shipment of ore. The ore you're probably thinking about it's actually being moved by horseback. There's a caravan that that Calcyro is with, and she went ahead of it. So somewhere on the road there is a wagon full of ore.
Ah, okay.
Raiding party.
I thought you brought a bunch and we could rob the town, but
We can just head them off.
All right, you guys get it from the docks. You're done.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess we're going back to town. Bam, bam. All right, I'm gonna just put you back on the little Usquid map. But what are you guys doing with the rest of the day? So you spent your morning, and let's just say it's about noon now. It's about lunchtime, and you guys are done with the docks. What do you plan to do?
Does Loredana stock beer?
Does Loriana what here? Sorry.
Does she have beer?
Yeah, she has some beer, some ale.
It's noon.
I got things to do, man.
Apparently not if you're drinking beer at noon.
I said I was drinking it now.
Well, there is ale if you'd like to take some and/or drink some.
Ah,
I would like to.
should we talk to
get a-
Linton?
Oh yeah, did you want to talk to him on the way back? Sorry.
Yeah, we can go talk to Linton. Perhaps we should get some ale first.
He does enjoy ale.
Yeah, let's get some ale and then go to Linton.
Okay. I'll just drag him here. So now he's on this map. But yeah, you find him. He's at his shop. So as you're walking from the docks back, you can swing by the Healthy Heart Alchemicals. And as you're walking around town, you notice that some of the shops are boarded up, and there are fewer people milling around town than there usually are. It seems like the events of the last couple of days have actually scared people. And some, like I said, some businesses are even just boarded up. But Linton's there, tending his shop, as if nothing has happened.
As a quick aside, did Nero share the partially written letter with Vors?
Yeah, did we ever read the letter?
You glanced at it really quickly. It was mostly unfinished. It was just a couple of sentences. But it did explain that they had made their way to a cave, and that they all were succumbing to some sort of disease. And then after that, it started off as like a listing of all the symptoms they had. They weren't sure exactly what was going on to them, and then it seems like he succumbed to the disease before he finished the letter.
Okay. Okay.
So, Linton, unfortunately, I believe we found Gregor.
And he says, Vors, hey! And at the mention of Gregor, he's like, how is he? Where is he? What's happened?
This is all we could find. Like beyond the, this is among the corpses and bodies of the people that he was with, and then we present the letter.
Okay, he takes it from you, and he's looking at it very closely. And you can tell from his gaze that he does think this is Gregor's handwriting. So he's looking at the note. He says, "You found this among corpses? Was he dead?"
It appears so. Yeah. It appears to be an infection, a fungal infection that overcame all of them.
And you see his eyes lose focus for a second as he's thinking. He's like, the Blooming Caves, of course. That's where they were hiding out. The Blooming Caves.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like they had no idea.
And he shakes his head, and he's like, they for decades, the people haven't used them, but he's just shaking his head.
Well, they shouldn't be using them.
Apparently not. Apparently the fungus is still there. And he says, and so were all of them dead, or were any of the loyalists alive when you got there?
So a few were. They were all incapacitated. We're not sure how many are actually going to survive.
And he looks concerned at this. He says, "Where are they? I can help if they're ill."
I think we have some of the other some of our other friends taking care of them right now. I think we should just leave them be and not be distracted by it.
He still looks very concerned, and he's like, "Oh, if you think that's for the best." And he's Iwan and Nero. You're hanging out next to him. You're in the shop too.
Sure.
Yeah. So he looks over.
Sure, in the shop.
Yeah. He's looking at both of you, and he says like, and you were there. You saw this, the Blooming Caves.
It was pretty horrific.
He nods. He says, I've never seen the fungus in full effect. I don't even know. But he'll give you some salves and potions and things like that. I'll just write salves for now. But he gives you some stuff to what he believes will help them. But nothing as powerful as Nero's restoration and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But basically, like this should help them. If you take this to them, hopefully they don't suffer too much.
What's been going on in town? Everyone's boarded up.
yeah. He looks. He says, yeah. The events of yesterday. He kind of looks at Vors a little slyly. He says, after the events of yesterday, the fall of the sword tower and the melee at the market. People are scared. People are they're concerned. They keep these were organized attacks, and that's something you've heard several times now from the people. They're concerned about that. It's not just a couple rebels causing trouble. This was a coordinated assault against the sword tower while there was a distraction going on at the market, and the town guard was completely caught with their pants down. They were led to believe there was a melee at the market, and all the patrols went there, and then the sword tower fell with almost no resistance. And these people are just openly questioning, what's going on here? How is this town being defended? Are we really safe? And people are just boarding up their towns and their houses and staying home.
Has anybody left? Just straight up left town, or are they just bunkering in?
He shakes his head and says, "I don't believe anybody's left town. If anything, people arrive every day. The town is still growing. I guess they don't know all the troubles yet."
What are they doing about the council?
He says there's a town council meeting tomorrow, but I'm not sure. As far as I'm aware, we're scheduled for the normal events, but I don't see how that's possible with all the things happening in town. The agenda hasn't changed yet.
What is on the agenda then?
There's a bunch of administrative stuff, including the renaming of Narcopolis Manor, which doesn't seem all that important anymore.
What difference does that make? What?
He shakes his head and said that none. And I'm certain tomorrow will not go as they had planned it last week. But the democracy is slow to act.
Ugh, foolish.
And he
are
nods and smiles,
there
and
any?
I agree.
Are there any plans to fill the vacancy on the council?
He says, I know of none, but the faithful Iomedeans will likely complain because the number 6 is sacred to them, and a council with 5 members may not have any authority in this town.
What do they do when the council's 3 and 3 if 6 is the sacred number?
They let the dog out.
Yeah. What do they do if it's 3 and 3?
If there's a tie in the council, they do a vote of all the citizens that are attending, basically yay or nay, or whatever it happens to be. It's the 7th voice.
So the people who aren't at work, or aren't doing other things, or aren't tending their fields, they all get to vote. All the people who have time to be at this meeting, and all the people who are
if
too
there
busy
is
to
a
be.
tie, yes.
I don't know how anything gets done.
What if the citizens also tie?
Well, she does. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. It's yet to happen. Generally, with the council previously, the 3 Glorious Reclamation members would always vote the same way, so they only had to convince one other member to go their way to make things happen.
Fair enough. What are you going to do when they vote to change the manor? I'm not really comfortable with the idea of stamping out history. It's one of the things about the Thrune hierarchy that I'm not really fond of.
Yeah, he nods and says, "Yeah, as you say, the Thrunes are possibly, one of the worst. The Order of the Rack specifically goes around burning old history books so that they can be replaced with the new versions of history. So no one's innocent in that regard. But I don't care what the manor is named. I have no dog in that fight.
It seems silly.
Especially now, especially after all that's gone down. I agree. I doubt it will even be brought up tomorrow. I think that the people are going to have their say at the meeting. I think they're going to demand answers, and I don't think that's going to be coming up in the agenda.
Okay.
I mean, I'm surprised it's even still an agenda item. It seems like, you're not supportive of it, but at the same time, maybe it's starting to become clear that Appian isn't really consulting with the rest of his council.
He shrugs. He says, I'm not sure how it was introduced to the agenda either, but the others seemed kind of insistent on it. They want to, as Nero says, they want to stamp out the old Thrune loyal families. They want to stamp out their name here. I can see why that's important from a perspective of trying to change the hearts and minds of the town, but I don't see the point. It doesn't matter to me.
It seems like the sensible voices on the council are not winning out at the moment.
He shrugs.
I can't remember who else is on the council. So it's Linton, Leodana.
Yeah, Linton, Loredana, Jana
Loredana.
Holdis.
Jana, that's right.
And then Appian, Zane, and the one you killed.
Dead Monk.
Dead Monk.
Yeah. Okay.
While I've got you, Linton, I just wanted to ask, if I were to bring you skins, if we were out hunting and we brought you skins, would it be something you'd be able to cure? I don't know if that's something that you'd be able to do alchemically.
He nods and says, yeah, it's not something I do often, but I'm pretty sure I could handle something like that.
Okay. I don't know. With all that's going on, I don't know that we're going to get out and do any hunting, but we'll see.
He nods. He looks at you a little curiously as to why you bring it up, but yeah, he nods. It's like that's something I can do for you guys if you need it. Yeah. Anything else with Linton?
How are you coming along on the Zerk? Have you been able to figure that out?
He says, frustratingly no, and he goes into all these like arcane descriptions of things he was doing with your sample of Zerk, and I haven't been able to get the chemical structure just right yet, and he's just going on and on about things, but he says, no, I haven't ruined your sample just yet, but I haven't reproduced it either.
All right. Well, I mean, don't sweat ruining it. Like, I can always afford more. But I appreciate your efforts.
He nods and says, I'm very interested in doing business with you, Mr. Vorse.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, or is Linton gone? All right. Goodbye, Linton. All right, and so it's like a little after lunchtime, and what are you guys thinking of doing?
I should go speak to Appian. At least to sow some seeds. Do you guys want to come?
Sure. I mean, like, if you think me being there will help, certainly. I'm just trying to keep a low profile right now.
Okay. If you don't want to come, that's fine. I'll go myself. I don't think I'm in any danger.
I'll go with you.
Iwan, you gonna go with him too? Talk to
Sure.
Appian?
Yeah, she would go. Yeah.
All right. So you go to find Appian, and you looking anywhere in particular, or just hoping to bump into him in town?
Just in general, like he'll basically ask a couple of sword knights as they walk by, and he'll sort of make it clear that he heard there was an artifact found, and that where Vors was saying that he should get a look at it.
Yeah. So that's a good idea. You start talking to some sword knights and guards you find around town, and after a while, they point you to where Appian is. He's on patrol, kind of with some of his guards, and you were able to find him in the streets. And yeah, so you approach him, and he looks at you and says, "Nero." He looks at the others and doesn't really address Vors or Iwan because they don't really talk to. You don't talk to Appian too much, you two, right?
No, I try not to get his attention.
And Iwan tends to just badger him about his incompetence. So
There you go.
he probably
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
be. Yeah.
Yeah. So he just looks at you and says, "Nero," and nods.
Lord Appian, I'm surprised to see you on patrol.
He says, "It's something I do after lunch. Everybody needs to get a walk in once a day at least, right?"
Okay. Okay, I was thinking that you were out on patrol all day. I was thinking what the town would go to without somebody running it.
Yeah, he nods. He says, "There's much to do, and it's just I do feel that the people need to see a show of force. They need to see that we walk among them. We're here too."
Okay.
And did you have something? You seem to walk up with a purpose.
Vors said that they found something at the market after I'd left. He said that it was that Zane said it was Needlese.
He nods and says, "Yes, some sort of Needlese urn. Zane can't make heads or tails of it, but he says it is magical."
Where is it?
He says, "I believe Zane took it back to the manor."
Do you think he'll let me see it?
Perhaps he's rather stubborn, but he may. It seemed like could use the help.
Okay, I'm more of a bookish type than a arcane type, and he does the magic fingers. But I've read a lot, I've seen a lot. Maybe I'll figure out what it is.
Yeah, and he says, I was hoping to talk to Loredana, and I think some Needleys were staying with her. Someone was saying at the market.
I think so. I ran into a couple of them. Yeah. What was his name?
Nikolai.
Nikolai.
Yeah, he nods. Yeah, I've heard they were there, but I believe they've left town, from what I hear.
They were sort of dour fellows, but they seemed all right.
He laughs. That's typical Needlese. It says it's a bit strange that they would leave right after an artifact from their homeland was found.
Well, they left before, as far as I know. They had been out of town for at least a day or two.
Correct.
Has it been that long?
Yeah. There was a day or two.
It has been that long.
But I don't think Oppian would know that. He just knows that they're not here now. He doesn't know exactly when they left. They kind of just got scarce.
We should talk to her, Loredana about it. But yeah, they were definitely gone before the market.
Yeah. So Oppian nods, says, interesting. This is all very strange, but I do encourage you, if there's any help you can offer, seek out what's his name? Seek out Zane at the manor.
Sure. All right. Well, don't let me stop you, on your patrol, but let's see if Zane will let me see it. If not, I might need you to intervene on my behalf.
Well, Oppian, when do you get off duty?
He says, I mostly just do this for the men and for the people. If you need me to come now, I can come right now.
Well, perhaps you'd. I'm sure Loredana keeps a manifest of her guests. Perhaps we should go check with her, find out when the Needlese men checked out, and then that should be a short stop, and then we can head and talk to Zane. I think it'd be appropriate for you to be there with us.
He seems perfectly amenable to that. He likes the idea of going to talk to Loredana, and he's like, sure. Are just you going, Vors, or is the whole party going with you guys?
Why don't I go? I'll go talk to Zane. You guys go talk to Loredana.
That sounds good.
Yeah, we can do that.
While you're at it, would you give this to Loredana for me? And Nero pulls out a little piece of paper. He writes something down, and he folds it up and hands it to Vors.
Vors looks at it quizzically, says okay, and then puts it into his inside jacket pocket without looking at it.
And it's like half a sentence kind of thing.
Okay. Do you guys have a preference on which you do first? Since you're splitting the party? Or you want to just roll randomly?
Whichever.
Alright, I have chosen Zane. We're doing the Zane thing first. So, Nero, you're going off to Narcopolis Manor?
Sure.
Seeking Zane?
Sure.
Alright. How much do you want to roleplay, or what are you looking to do?
He's just looking to get a look at the bottle, and yeah.
I'll take you over to the manor map just for fun.
And I forget, which is Oppian going with Nero?
No, Oppian's going to Little Usquid with Loredana.
He's coming with us.
Yeah,
okay.
Got it. So Nero's going to the manor alone, and I guess what do? You approach the main door, or how do you do it?
Yeah, he'll approach the main door. Joe, just as an FYI, the note says something to the effect of smile and tuck this note away into your blouse, or tuck this note away into your apron. Don't let smile and tuck this note away into your apron.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
So just yeah.
Okay. So you get to the door and you knock very loudly, and nothing happens for a moment, and then a mouth appears above the door and just says, "What?"
Zane, is that you?
And he says, "It's an illusion, but yes, it's me."
It's Nero. I heard you found an artifact at the market.
He says, "Oh, hello, Nero." He says, "Yes. Do come in, and the doors open themselves.
Okay, Nero will go in.
Right? You see the foyer, and you're just going to walk inside?
Sure.
Alright. There's a stair up to your left. There's some sort of closet that appears to go underneath the stairs. And there's a couch in that room. And that's all you see while I pull up the rest of the description. And he now he calls to you using his regular voice. He just says, I'm upstairs. I'm in my study.
All right, should I come up?
He's like, sure, go ahead. And the doors
I know
close
better than
behind
to
you.
wander around. I know better than to wander around in a wizard's workshop.
And Zane laughs, yes. Be careful. Do be careful. Don't touch anything you shouldn't.
Okay, so Nero will go up the stairs.
Alright, so you go boop. You go boop. Come up over here. Boop, boop. And Faderette Zane is in his study over there. And yeah, and he invites you up, and you walk over here to room number 12 on my screen. That's a big number. The second floor landing. The grand stairway from the manor's foyer ends here in an open area containing several glass trophy cases. The cases are empty. Their contents have been taken to the Narcopolis estate, so they're just empty. There's a lot of missing things in this room. And yeah, that's all you see. So you walk up, and you're not sure exactly where the study is, so you kind of just follow his voice for a while, fumbling around, until you do see him over here.
May I come in?
He nods, and he has the urn on the table before him, and he's got a bunch of books open, as if he was trying to figure out what this thing is.
So Nero will come in. Say, what have you found out?
He says, not too much. It's definitely some sort of conjuration magic, and based on what happened, it's got to be some sort of enchantment effect as well. And he's kind of gesturing, and he's doing this as if he expects you to be able to detect magic. As if, oh, well, you can't even, like, everyone should be able to do this. And he's like, you can see the auras here, but I can't find anything about it in my books.
So Nero will do the detect magic thing and be looking at it. Then he leans in and gives the bottle a sniff and says, you don't know what this is?
He shakes his head. No, do you? I know nothing of Nadal. I know very little.
You smell it? Doesn't smell like anything, but it must have contained something.
Presumably. It is an urn, it is a container. And he points to the hole on the top.
Does it have a cap?
None was found at the scene.
Huh.
It was found like this in a box in some merchant's behind his stall.
I think I have an idea what it is.
Oh, he's just curious.
I mean, look at the markings on it. It's if what happened in the market was an enchantment, this would seem to be a likely thing. I've heard about such things that make people lose their minds, fight indiscriminately.
And he says, I've heard some things like that too, but it's like, Zerk and things like that. He's just listing off other things that cause people to go crazy, but never in an area like that.
Have you tried stoppering it?
He says, nothing that I put in there seems to do anything. Like, he's put rocks and stuff or whatever. He's put covers on it, but doesn't seem to work without its stopper.
Interesting. And Nero's sort of doing a thing where he's sort of backing up and sort of like squinting at him, as though you should know this. And he says, "All right, well, I should go, but let's look into this further later."
Yeah, and he does look a little like at your gaze. He seems a little defeated. You can tell that it anguishes him that he has never heard of these things, and like you can tell with all the books open, he was frantically looking for some sort of thread to follow, but he's just like I don't know. I have no idea what this thing is, and he seems defeated. In this room, while you were detecting magic, remember it's a cone, it's not just like one single item, so you were detecting magic on the thing, but you also caught that one of the books on the table is also magical. The same thing Iwin noticed when she was in this room.
Okay. What kind of magic?
I believe conjuration, but let me see what it is. Yes, it's conjuration magic. And it's evil. It is evil conjuration magic.
Any other items you've been looking into?
He says several. You know, there a few were found during the battles, but nothing of great import. And he gestures to that book. He's like, that book is something to do with summoning, some kind of magical summoning book, but it does not work for good casters, it seems.
What's it supposed to summon?
He's like, I don't believe it's used to summon something particular. I think it's used to enhance summoning spells when cast. I think it makes.
May I?
He says, please.
Then Nero will just give it an eyeball.
Sure. Go ahead and make a spellcraft check.
I don't think I can cast Identify, but maybe.
Okay.
Oh, I can.
Oh, then you can go ahead, cast it. You get a plus 20. So, what do you do as you cast Identify?
He'll just sort of do the divine equivalent. So he utters a little prayer and wipes his eyes, and then he looks at the book.
Okay. Go ahead and make a spellcraft check with a plus 20 from Identify. Yeah, 38. Yeah, you know what this is. This is a book of extended summoning. Basically, it's extend spell for summoning. It's like a rod of extend spell specifically for summon spells. And this one is evil. It only works on evil when you summon evil creatures or summoned by an evil caster, I think. I'll double check that.
Okay.
But it is an evil extended summon book.
Okay.
So you believe he's on the right track. He didn't know exactly what it was, but you believe that he had a good handle on this one at least.
And Nero will sort of point out in the book, if you look here, it should do something. It should maybe lengthen, maybe empower summoning.
And you can see him. He also does his detect magic, and he's looking at the aura very closely. He says, "I believe you're correct. It's something like that, certainly." And he gestures to a figurine on the like a shelf in the back, and he says, "Perhaps when used in tandem with that." And you go ahead and make another spellcraft check if you want to see what that is about.
Sure. Oh.
That's pretty good too. Yeah. So there, in the side of the room, there's a small figurine called a Brimstone Barbazu, which actually summons a bearded devil. Like it's like you smash it. It's a one-time use. You crack it, and a bearded devil comes out. So maybe when used with that, it would create something interesting. I found them fairly close together.
Interesting.
And so he's looking over the thing now, and now that you've kind of pointed out some of the auras in the other object, he's getting a little further along, but he still hasn't figured out that it's like an ever-smoking bottle that has this melee curse in it.
Right.
But he's getting there, and he's basically he thanks you very much for helping him with things. He says like, "This has been very informative. Thank you very much."
All right. Well, I'll leave you to it. If I find anything, I'm gonna look. There were some needles staying in the Loredana's place. Did you know that?
He said, I heard rumors, but I know nothing of them. It
Okay.
said to go talk to them, but I believe someone told me they were already gone.
Yeah, they've been gone for a few days. Vors was telling me just a moment ago that they've been gone a few days. I thought they had left sooner later than that, but apparently not. All right. Well, I should catch up with everyone, but I'll be back soon.
He says, says, okay, yeah, thank you for coming. Like, again, this was very informative, and he's very happy to be slowly moving on the right path. He was very frustrated that he couldn't figure out what's going on with this. And he says, we'll go crack this one, I'm certain of it. Yeah. So you're going to leave?
Okay. Yeah.
Are you doing anything on your way out?
No, just sort of giving the eyeball around.
Okay. I went ahead and put the stuff in this room here, like the upstairs closet over here.
Okay.
Are you messing with it specifically, or are you just...
No. He's gonna exit as though he's gonna exit quickly. Like he trudges down the stairs very quickly.
Okay.
And heads out toward the gang.
Sure. All right. I'll just cut you and take you off the map then.
Does Nero think he should know what that is? Like he should have been able to identify
Yes.
that already?
Yes.
Okay,
It's
that's what I
very.
thought.
You definitely believe he should, and he has rolled poorly twice now. He just has no idea what this thing is. He definitely knows it conjures something, and based on what happened, it must conjure some sort of madness thing. But he hasn't put it together. He doesn't know there's a gas. He doesn't. It's still a mystery to
Right.
him. And even with your help, he hasn't put all the pieces together yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All of these NPCs are just terrible at all their jobs. It's great.
That's fine. That's fine.
Hey, it's gonna work to our advantage, maybe.
I think your video got frozen, Jeff. By the way,
Oh, really?
I think so. Maybe
Dude, that was like hours ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you hear me though?
Yes.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Maybe turn off your video and turn it back on to see if it refreshes.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'll
go
give
ahead.
that a shot.
So once Nero gets outside of Narcopolis Manor, he straight books it to be in. So he's going to try to arrive pretty out of breath.
Okay. So we'll say that you guys had a couple of minutes. Nero will get there maybe 10 minutes later, but he's booking it. So you arrive there, and
Well, so one thing. So while we're on the way there, Iron will kind of just, as they're walking, casually start conjecturing, like, oh, I wonder if Nero's going to figure out what that thing is. He's a really smart guy. I bet he'll help crack it. And then she'll sort of look down a little bit and say, it surprises me a lot that Zane couldn't figure it out. He seems like a pretty sharp guy too.
and Appia nods. It surprised me as well. Zane is usually very handy with this sort of thing, but he seems completely stumped by this device.
Yeah, what a wonder.
Yeah, she shrugs. I've never seen it before. Like,
And,
and he says, he's cataloged all the other artifacts we brought to him rather quickly, and we sent them off wherever to be destroyed if they were cursed or things like that. But it seems very odd to me that he doesn't understand what this magic is about.
Yeah.
and at some point early on in the walk, Voris would lean into Oppian and say, we should walk a little slower. The gnome has short legs. She can't keep up, but it's uncomfortable for her. She'll never let on, but like let's just stroll so she doesn't tire.
Yeah, he whispers, oh, of course, I had no idea. I'm sorry. And yeah, so he slows his pace. So you guys get there, and Nero will get there maybe like 10 minutes later. But so you guys arrive at the Little Uskwood, and Appian is there. I'm gonna go ahead and put him there. And he's got a couple of guards with him. I'm not gonna bring them with him, but just a small number of guards, not a whole patrol. And when he comes in the door, he bows like deeply before Loredana. He says, like, Lady Loredana, like, it is a pleasure as always. And she kind of just brushes him off, like, don't bother with that crap. And she looks to you. She's like, yeah, what's going on? What can I do for you?
Voris, playing the host, will look to Oppian and ask him, would you care for a beer? Loredana stocks some pretty good ale.
He says, no, there's too much to do today. He's going to pass on the beer.
Okay, and then Voris will just tell her, be like, I'll take a flagon of ale.
All right.
How much does that cost? It's like,
Well, she's gonna basically comp you. She doesn't care that much.
I want to pay for it.
Okay, I don't know. We'll say it's like a copper for a beer generally. So we can
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll reach into my jacket pocket, pull out a copper with the note from Nero, and just put that down on the bar top.
Sure.
And say thank you, Loredana.
Yeah. So she takes it. She looks a little quizzically. She takes it and she opens the note and she reads it. And she's very, very, very good at doing things. I'm pretty sure she's like a good bluffer, but let me just double check that. She reads it and doesn't let anything on as long as she bluffs better than a 10. What do we got? Yeah. It's bad. Not as good as I thought she was. Yeah. So she sees it and without even reacting, she just tucks it away into her apron as suggested. And she does it without reacting to anything. And she says, "Iwin, is there anything I can do for you?"
Well, so one of the reasons we're here, we're trying to get to the bottom of what happened the other day, and we thought we could help Oppian out a little bit. Do you happen to keep visitors logs or like document when people are staying?
She said, yes, I have a guest book here, and she takes it out from under the counter.
You mind if we just flip through it a little bit?
Be my guest.
So Iwan will grab it, but then just sort of hand it to Oppian and let him take the lead on looking through it.
Yeah, and it does say that the Needleys arrived here several weeks ago, and that they left the day before the market thing, and they didn't officially sign out. They just basically vanished that day. They took all their stuff and left, and she just basically wrote down the log, like left with all their things.
So Iwan won't look at the book, but she'll just kind of look at Oppian as he's looking at the book, and basically we'll start asking him questions like, so when she sees that he's kind of like found the page and like looking at it, what does it say? When did they leave?
It says here they left the day before the Oath Day market.
Interesting.
He says he also says that is interesting. It seems maybe they didn't do it, but it seems very odd that Needley's magic was used, at the market at the same time, about the same time they were leaving. It's all fishy to me.
It is weird. It also, I mean, something like that you think would be a valuable item to them. It would be surprising if they left it.
Yeah, he does seem very suspicious with that. He's like, it's possible. I don't know. And he says, what do you think, Loredana? What do you know about this? And she shakes her head and says, I don't have a head for magic. It did look Needleys to me when I saw it in the market, but I know nothing more than that. And he's like hanging on her every word as if she has something valuable to say, but she doesn't.
So, Iwan will ask her a couple more suggestive questions, and she'll be like, did they seem suspicious to you at all, or did they just kind of go about their business while they were here?
She says, Needleys stick to themselves. I didn't pry, but they were perfectly good guests in my inn.
And you didn't hear any conversations or anything where they expressed displeasure with anything, like any reason to be suspicious of their intentions?
She says they weren't too happy about the slaves being freed. I'm not sure what their business was, but I did hear some rumblings about that. They were concerned about, especially the halflings being set free.
But do you think they expressed specific displeasure with the governance or anything like at that level, or were they displeased for other reasons? Did you get a sense of that?
She's like, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure if they had the business here in that sort of industry, but it seems like the revolution kind of put some kinks into whatever they came here to do. It seemed like they came here for a job and then kind of milled around for several weeks before disappearing.
But certainly it didn't seem like they were necessarily trying to cause any trouble, or did it?
No, I don't believe them to be like activists or rebels or anything like that. I don't believe they don't have the heart for it. They probably just went back to Nadal.
Okay.
All right, Nero. So conversations are happening, and you arrive out of breath.
I need a moment, but something's not right.
And so everybody looks up, and Oppian actually gets out of his off his little stool and says, "What is it, Nero?"
I took one look at that. I knew what it was immediately.
And he looks at you quizzically. He's like, "You know about Nadal, yes?"
I don't know much about Nadal. I mean, I've read, but I could tell that it's not really hard to tell the dour form of a Needley's item. No offense, Loredana. And he sort of cracks a smile.
Yeah. And she gestures as if none taken. Yeah.
But that's a Discord bottle.
He looks at you and says, "What, a Discord bottle?" And he has no idea what that is. What do you mean?
It produces a gas. It makes people go crazy.
Like crazy, like the forced into combat, like the melee that took place.
That was the melee. That's absolutely what caused it.
No one reported seeing any gas.
I don't know. I would imagine that it's got to be colorless, odorless. Otherwise, people would have smelled something stinks, and then they fight each other.
He looks very concerned about that. He's like, I've never heard about this. You believe you're certain this exists? This is possible?
Certainly, the Hound Archon would have sensed a gas if it was.
My worry is not that the Discord bottle was there. My worry is not that there was a fight. My worry is that I took one look at it and I know what it is. Zane's been studying it for days and he's still not sure?
Yeah, it's been about a day and a half since Zane had it. That does seem suspicious. He's with you, and he also nods to Vors, who said the Hound Archon would have smelled it, and he reported nothing. He lost his mind. He was just minding his own business, and all of a sudden he had no more fervent desire in the world than to hack at one of the commoners in front of him.
Zane should know what that is. He's more educated than I am. He should know what that is.
And Appian would know that Iwin also wasn't there because he didn't see her. So she'll sort of come over and be like, "Yeah, even I know what that is." I mean, I'm pretty smart too. I'm well read, but like, you know, I would expect. I thought it was going to be something harder than that.
Yeah, and he seems very surprised and kind of put off by this. Like, I don't understand. Why would he lie? Why would he? Like, why wouldn't he know, or why would he pretend not to know?
There was something else I noticed. I was in his study. I don't want to cast aspersions. I don't know what his intentions for these items are. But there's an item there that enhances casting evil spells that he's studying. He's studying it openly.
Like, what kind of item?
It's a book, but it radiates. It's palpably evil.
Appian nods and says he has many evil artifacts. He tries to find if he can repurpose them for good, or rework the magic inside, or if they should be destroyed by the church. It doesn't surprise me that he would have an evil item or an evil tome like you described.
Well, when was the last time he was able to repurpose one or like decide to destroy one?
It had to have been over a week and a half ago, before you guys even arrived.
Oh, so other items here he's been doing it with.
Yeah, he's been slowly destroying or repurposing items as he can. Yeah.
Something is not right. The timing of that is too good. From what I understand, that artifact is a package deal. You have to have a stopper and a bottle. They go together. They work together, is how I understand that they work.
He's right. That's my understanding as well.
Was there a stopper?
He shakes his head and says, the merchant who gave us the urn, there was no stopper among his boxes that we were aware of.
I'm not sure what to think. It can't be what I'm thinking.
He looks at you almost quizzically, like, what are you thinking? Like, he wants you to basically just get it out.
Then Vors would pipe in at that point to say, well, it certainly seems like a man of Zane's capacities should know exactly what he's doing in this situation. And for him to not, or to put on, or to appear to not be, is, yeah, he's proven himself very competent. I can't see this as anything else than some sort of I guess there's more going on in that manner.
You see it too, then. It's not just me.
Yeah. No, like there's certainly more. There's certainly more going on in that manner than Zane is letting on.
Appian looks gravely concerned about this.
Perhaps than he is even aware of. And Vors looks at Nero.
And yeah, he looks gravely concerned by these things you're bringing up, and he says, "You don't mean you don't think he's controlled by any? You don't think he's been affected by any of the items, do you?"
I don't know. The short answer is I don't know.
He says, we'll need to see to this immediately. Something has to be done." And he shakes his head again, and he mutters to himself that he doesn't know who to trust anymore. And you've heard him say this too, also during, I think during this earlier in the week, you've heard him say that he's not sure who to trust.
Right when he says that, I would say, Lord Anna. You're on the council. Like, what say you?
Specifically about what? About Zane?
Yep.
She reiterates, I don't really have a mind for magic, but it does seem suspicious that he's, the guy who knows everything knows nothing about this very simple device. And she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but even I can put the pieces together.
Appian, when was the last time that you were in the manor? Have you gone to survey that situation yourself?
He shakes his head and says, "No. It's been a month at least since I've been to the manor. I spend most of my time at Valor's Fastness."
I think perhaps we should go look in there.
Sure. He seemed like I'm convinced. He's like I think if something is going on, I think we should we should go to the manor and investigate. He's like, I can summon a patrol at once.
For real quick, like rules question.
Mm-hmm.
Paladins, do they have detect evil?
Paladins do it as a move action, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And clerics. Appian's a cleric. I told you he was a paladin once, and I was wrong. He is a cleric.
Oh.
So he has to
okay.
actually cast a spell. So he has to take out a holy symbol, say a prayer, and then his eyes glow, basically, and he can see evil. But a paladin can just, squint at you.
Right.
But you guys don't radiate demon evil. You guys radiate, ruffian evil.
Yes.
Oh, no, I guess what I was asking is that sort of spell the kind that, would he be able to, sense, the urn's cap, through, a closet door?
Through doors, no. Spells like that, detect evil and detect magic, it's usually vision, and I think, and there's rules about what blocks it, but probably not going to be able to see it through the wall, no.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Ivan will kind of say, this could be a lot for him to handle if a whole, party goes in there. He could get defensive. I think he trusts you. You guys have known each other for a long time. This may be better done just one-on-one.
He says, you think so? And he looks to the others. He looks towards Nero.
I mean, perhaps Vors would pipe in and be like, perhaps Nero should go. I mean, he seems to know the most about this urn.
It depends. It depends if... I guess, Appian, what are you thinking? What are you going in there to do?
She says, I'm not entirely sure myself, but if he's being affected by these items, if he has been influenced by these, if he's not doing his job, then these are very serious accusations, and we need to find that out.
If you're going in there to look for something, I say definitely take a troop.
Oh yeah, sorry. I wasn't talking about the troops necessarily. It's more just the rest of us. He's not as familiar with us.
Okay.
I think it may be best done between, I think this is best left to Appian to, figure out with his friend what the deal is here.
I think you should certainly go in there with a plan, because if you're going to go in and turn it upside down, you've got to be ready for there to be fallout if there's going to be fallout.
Sure. He nods and says, I don't know what to make of any of this, but if something's going wrong, like I need to know. Like this isn't working. And what? Everybody give me a diplomacy check, because you've been schmoozing him this whole time, and you've been doing very well with the words you've been choosing. But let's just see if anybody bumbles.
That's bad for me.
Ooh, yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, see, you guys are very convincing in everything you've been saying, and you've been making very valid points. So he seems very concerned that something's going on, that maybe he's betrayed the revolution. Maybe I don't know what's going on. He's been acting out a lot recently. When he was given tasks to help around the Oath Day, he was complaining the whole time and saying that it was beneath him to even be out there. And this is all adding up in his mind, and he seems just very concerned.
Yeah, and Vors would pipe in and say, "You should truly consider searching the entire manor. If he is truly affected, he will probably try to play off, and like that there may not be something in an area that there will be, to try to protect the source of whatever may be affecting him."
Okay.
So I would just be very thorough in your search.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to say to Appian?
Just be careful, please. This is very strangely adding up. The rumors I've been hearing about what happened up north. Undead things coming out of the forest.
It is very strange. It is all of this happening at once. It seems the entire world is coming against this place. And he just shrugs. He looks almost despondent, as if this is all falling apart around him, and there's nothing he can do to stop it.
That's because that's true.
But he turns to Loredana, and he almost smiles for a moment, and he says, "Lady Loredana, or Lady Viorica, I guess is her last name. I must be on my way. I must see to this. I must see to the needs of the town. But thank you for the meal. I assume she made lunch or something." He didn't drink any alcohol, but he did eat. And he's getting ready to leave, unless you guys want to stop him.
So Iwan will just say, "Hey, look, this is tough. I don't envy your position in this, but this also is potentially your chance. These are the sorts of moments that leaders are made for. So this is your chance to this could be your shining moment."
With that diplomacy check you roll there, that's actually very comforting to him. He nods at you, and he stands a bit taller, and he flips his cape as he walks away, and he's going to deal with that. And did you guys you decide you're not going to go with him, Nero? You're basically going to let him and his guards?
I'm gonna walk along with him for a little bit, and basically be talking to him about how I have to go to the library and do legal research. Like if you find that he's being influenced or that he's turned away from the revolution, I assume he's going to get a trial. He's not going to be summarily...
Yeah, he actually seems a bit offended that you would say that, being that he murdered his best friend earlier. Yeah, he's like, yes, certainly. He would be arrested and tried, yes.
All right. Well, he's going to need someone to defend him. I can't imagine that this is his own doing. I'm gonna get to the bookstore and see what I can research.
He nods at that. He's like if he's not under his own, if he's not making these decisions under his own power, if he's under the influence of some fiendish book or spell or something else in the manor, I don't know. But certainly, I encourage you to do your research.
Okay, so
I was just going to... Boris would pipe in and say, "Well, Appian, if he is possibly under the effects of some item, it may be prudent to strip him of any magical items that he may have, and to keep him away from the manor."
He nods. He says, "We'll see if it comes to that. I hope it doesn't, but I can't tell what's going on." He's in over his head now. Anything else, Nero?
No, Nero will just sort of walk with him and like be very sort of amped up about how he has to get there and look into these books, and he's not familiar with the law here, and they've been under Thrune for so long, he's not familiar with how the law works here.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So
he just splits when he goes to the bookstore.
Yep. Yeah. You guys split up, and you guys are going where you're going. So Michael Mosky, you basically did nothing for the most of the session. So hi, how are you? We got like 10 minutes left.
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything for you to do in 10 minutes. What have you been doing like during the day? Yeah.
Bob Elzub was he spent most of the day trying to figure out how to heal the bunyip, but he was told not to leave and to keep a low profile.
Okay.
So Bob Elzub unsuccessfully tried to fix the bunyip.
Make a heal check. See what you know about bunyips. Click on yourself. Click on the bandaged hand on the skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Oh, thank
decent.
God you didn't get a 20.
Yeah. So you didn't. Yeah, you got a 20 exactly. So yeah, so you've managed to keep it alive, but they're water creatures, and you've dragged it into the forest now, so it's not doing super great. But it is alive, and it's not conscious though. It's still taking a nap.
All right. Well, can we get it into like Scarda's water bucket or something, or?
Scarda's at the inn.
Yeah,
She doesn't have a water bucket out.
Even though
And
you're
how
at
big of
on
a
the
water
same map.
bucket does she have?
I don't know. But again, even though you're on this map, Michael, you're in the forest. You're not with them at the inn because you didn't want to come.
Understood.
So, do you want to do anything else during the day, or you want to do any role playing with Zara or any of the people here?
I mean, I would try to have Zara try to heal the bunyip also. But I mean, ultimately, I'm basically just bringing these guys food, right? I was ordered to do that.
You just keep them alive, keep them in the sun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Zara looks at the bunyip, and she says, yeah, it's very, very badly wounded, but it's still alive. It's going to be fine. And she helps you tighten some of the bandages and stuff around some of the more serious cuts. She said, I don't understand what you want this thing for, though.
You don't understand love, Zara.
She looks at you. Are you in love with this bunyip?
No, I just love it. There's a difference.
Yeah. So she doesn't laugh. Joe laughed. I'm sorry. I need to get better at role playing and not laughing. But she looks at you and saying, like, I don't understand this at all. Like that thing's a monster.
You don't have to.
That thing's a
We're all
monster.
monsters.
It tried to kill you. It was dragging you under the water.
Yeah, but it didn't.
She nods and says, yes, it didn't. And she just says, I don't understand this, but you know, if you're trying to keep it alive, I think you're doing an okay job.
All right.
And she goes back to tending to the wounded. And the ones that Nero healed, I think he got to 4 of them. 1 with the removed disease and 3 with the restos. And they're doing much better. They're all still asleep, but you can tell like some of their colors are turning to their face, and a lot of the mushrooms have fallen off of those ones. The other ones are still very much sick, and they have like living mushrooms still on them. But the sun is slowly drying them out. Is there anything else you want to do, or what else would Bob be doing? Anything of interest?
Not really.
Ambush a patrol or something?
No. I was specifically told to keep a low profile.
In the town, I thought you were coming with us.
Oh.
Yeah, we messed this up. It's fine. I feel terrible because my brother did almost nothing. But we'll get you. We'll get you next session, Michael Mosky. So, since you sent NPCs to go talk to themselves, I'm not going to like roleplay that out in front of you. I'll write something on the Google group about the outcome of what happened there. But you're going to be very successful, I'm pretty sure. He's going to go there, he's going to find the things, and you've planted enough doubts in his head that something bad is going to happen to Zane. Probably. So, I'll write something up on the Google group. I think we're not going to play for like 3 more weeks now because this other guy's getting married. Too many people get married all the time. But yeah, so thanks for playing, everybody. Anything else you want to do before we wrap up the session and stop the recording? No?
You gonna holler at that girl for us?
Oh yeah, you got the drugs and everything, and you didn't holler at her yet because it's still the middle of the day, I guess.
That is true. All right.
We should take a note. You need to remember to do that.
Oh man, I'm fucking tired.